We'd like to thank Intel for believing in us and supporting women in the gaming community. The new core and graphics architectures of the 11th gen Intel Core processors elevate laptop and desktop gaming performance for all types of gamers, from the overclockable K processor line for desktops to the U processor line with integrated graphics. Intel has a product for the hardcore PC gamer and streamer, as well as the gamer on the go. Hi guys, and welcome to VCT Game Changers Southeast Asian Series FSL Circuit, the league that's all about growing the competitive women's gaming scene and seeing how women in esports change the game. It's us, your host Jenny Rariculi, your caster Leonard Omolo, and of course, once again, this FSL Overtime is brought to you by our sponsor Intel and supported by our official media partner Yahoo. Omo, how are you feeling about day number 4?
I mean, I'm hyped for sure. We're trying to see which of these teams left alive in the tournament can make it into FSL Elite from overtime. I think that's a pretty tall task, honestly. They have to play 2 more series here today if they want to qualify. So I'm really hyped to see some good games.
Yep, for sure. We're going to take a look at the format for these teams up until today. We've had a pretty exciting year as 6 entire FSL Opens. So far, as you see on your screen, we've already had 3 teams qualify from the top of the leaderboard through from our 6 FSL Open circuits. And right now, we are into FSL Overtime, day number 4. So we did already see both our Cat Aresta as well as Aos Arise qualify yesterday, and at the end of today we'll find out which third team will join the already qualified 5 teams through to FSL Elite in October.
Yeah, and we have some pretty strong teams left here today. We have Big Scythe, Vitality, who we saw put on some pretty good performances, Hashira, as well as Tiamat in the series that we are going to be watching. And of these 4 teams, only 1 team can make it over to FSL Elite. And of course, if they don't, there's going to be FSL Wildcard as the last chance, right? So it's not the end of the road just yet.
Yep, for sure. And I mean, if they do make it through to FSL Elite, they're going to be up against some pretty stiff competition. I mean, the 3 teams qualified through from FSL Open, AE Celeste for one, Galaxy Racer, as well as Renatus White. So a lot of pretty hype teams in the mix for sure. And as you mentioned, the format for today, it's going to be a best of 3 since we're going to be following the lower bracket. For today, our first series will be Hashira going up against Tiamat, and then the winner of this series will play whoever wins between Big Scythe and Vitality Estelle. Also, if you guys are watching this on the English stream, either on facebook.com/FSLFPS or twitch.tv/FSL, guys, if you want to check out the Big Scythe versus Vitality Estelle match over on the other side of the lower bracket quarterfinals, we do have Bahasa as well as Thai streams available on YouTube and Twitch for you to watch. So set up that multi-Twitch, just open a couple of tabs and catch both games, so you'll be well prepped for the next best of 5 going on later.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that should be a super exciting game as well. So you definitely want to make sure you don't miss it. Of course, Hashira against Tiamat, this is not going to be an easy one too. Both of these teams, I feel, seem pretty evenly matched. So I think that, you really want to be catching both games, and you really want to know which of these 2 teams you can expect to support in the grand finals here. I mean, I call it grand finals, but it's really just the last spot, right? We're taking a look at the brackets right now. Big Scythe against Vitality. I think the thing to note is that both of these teams are coming off losses, right? Every team here is coming off losses. The big one that we want to pay attention to is that Hashira just got 3-0'd yesterday. That's not going to be easy to recover from, and we'll have to see what they can do to adjust here today.
Yeah, for sure. Their loss versus Aos Arise in yesterday's second best of 5 series was pretty characteristic of the team. I think just because we've been seeing so much of Hashira do so well in the last few FSL Opens, especially, and Eos Arise just kind of coming out of nowhere and just absolutely whooping them 3-0. And plus, looking at the scores, like it was a pretty convincing win. Like that map 2 on Ascent, especially just 13-3 versus them. So as you mentioned, it's going to be a pretty tall order whether between last night and this morning Hashira was able to turn that together or not. And also for Tiamat, they lost 0-2 to Big Scythe yesterday at the start of the upper bracket, and then they've had to fight their way through like 3 best of 3 series through the lower bracket to make it into this afternoon's series. So it's been a pretty rough road for them as well. So I'm pretty excited to see how this shakes out between both these teams that kind of have fallen from grace down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, the fun fact is Tiamat actually lost 0-2 in the upper bracket yesterday, and they played 2 BO3s in the lower bracket, which went the distance. So they actually played 8 games yesterday. So I think they're coming into this one with a lot of practice, but the counterpoint is they're definitely going to be pretty tired, and we'll have to see how they, really balance both being fresh and having a bit more practice.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. I think their record was they 2-0'd Komarebi, and then they lost 0-2 to Big Scythe, and then they played 2 best of 3s, which both went to 3 games in the lower bracket. So just absolutely insane the amount of games they have to play. But I mean, that's just the way the competition format works, right? Like you drop to the lower bracket, that just means you're gonna have to play more games in the double elimination. The good thing is you get more chances. If you drop a series, it doesn't mean you're out just yet. But yeah, so we're seeing the strongest 4 teams so far. Only 1 team will make it through at the end of today. We're gonna take a look at the map picks for right now. I think the maps have been selected. It's going to be Ascent, Icebox, and then Haven if the series goes to all 3 maps. So real quick, Omo, who's going to take this series? What do you think the score is going to be?
Don't put me on the spot like that. That's a hard one. If I had to really call it, I would say Hashira. I think we've seen more from them, and I think they can, I hope they can bounce back from the 0-3 yesterday. Whereas on the side of Tiamat, I would assume they're probably a little bit more tired. They've played so many games. At least when Hashira lost, it was a quick loss. So hopefully I think Hashira will bounce back here today.
Yeah, I think I would go with 2-1 to Hashira as well, just based off of kind of the potential and just historically the high that we know that Hashira can produce when they're on, right? So that's just gonna be our scores over here on the analyst desk. Guys, joining Omo to bring you all the action for the next couple of maps is Kentrell. Hey, I'm Quack. Gentlemen, all ears on you.
Hey man,
hello.
I'm on
Welcome.
the left side today. It feels weird.
A bit of a change of pace.
That's cool.
Glad to have you on board, Cantrell. How's it going today? How do you think? I mean, since Ray already put me on the spot, I have to do it to you as well. Who do you think is gonna take this one?
So you're gonna put me on the spot too?
Definitely.
It's only fair, I suppose. But I think you guys. You guys have a point, right? It's kind of fair to say that, yeah, Hashira, they seem likely to take this series. It's a best of 3, and even though Tiamat did win the coin toss, I think on maps like Ascent, on Icebox, there is a chance Hashira do have what it takes, but I am not so sure. I mean, I still want to say 2-1, probably Hashira. Tiamat, it's nice to see that bit of Vietnamese representation. We don't have too many Vietnamese teams in FSL, but the fact that they've actually been playing since last year, the fact that they've consistently tried to make it in the opens, they don't quite make it to playoffs, unfortunately, for Tiamat, but they're still here for a reason. Hashira, on the other hand, consistently making it to playoffs, but again, yesterday's game against Eos Arise, they looked kind of weird. It was sometimes needlessly aggressive or risky, and it's just weird, y'all. I don't know.
to be fair, Eos Arise has looked really on fire, and I think that might have thrown Hashira off their groove, right? Like, they might not be expecting to come in and get hit with that sort of firepower, which can lead people to do some crazy things. Like, I know I've been in that spot myself. You just get outgunned constantly, and you kind of feel lost. You don't really know what to do next. I have to point out, Eos trio Hashira yesterday. They 2-0'd Vitality Estelle, who are no slouches themselves before that, and they 2-0'd Fuma Gaming in the first round of the upper bracket. So this team has not dropped a map. They've just been on a roll, and I think, maybe it's less about Hashira, and I personally think it's maybe more about Eos Arise.
I kind of have to agree. I mean, I don't know if people watching right now saw the games from Eos Arise yesterday. If you haven't, I do highly recommend that you check it out, probably through the Twitch VODs. It's pretty insane the things that they did on certain maps like Icebox. Sometimes it feels a bit off, a little bit weird. Icebox, the part of the map with the tube. Usually, you would have a Sage to wall it off just so that you block it off completely. People can't just push into the tube unless the wall gets dropped, right? But they put the wall with a gap on purpose. They set it to the left side, and there's an intentional big gap that you can still walk through, but they were just using that wall as a wall. They just went in for the strafe shots, and it actually worked out. I don't know how they make those plays happen. You have to be really mechanically sharp in order to pull off something like that. And yeah, so you're definitely onto something. I mean, the fact that they were able to make plays like that happen, even against Hashira, whatever other team, Vitality as well, this might be a team that we don't see too often, but the fact that they've already qualified for FSL Elite, this is a team that's going to be here to stay. Still, though, today it's going to be Hashira versus Tiamat, and the first map will be Ascent. Of course, since this was Tiamat's map pick, Hashira will be able to pick the side, and they have picked defense.
Yeah, that's understandable. We talk about this a lot. Defense is generally preferential, I would say, for a lot of these teams because there's less for you to do, right? If it's not your map pick, there's less effort for you to put in. You just need to do standard defenses. And I think that what we're seeing from the lineup of Hashira seems pretty standard across the board. It's exactly what you would expect for a map like Ascent. You get Killjoy, you get the Sova. I think that those are the big two. And then you round it out with 2 duelists and an Omen. On the other side, though, for Tiamat, we see something a little bit more interesting. We get the Raze alongside the Astra. What do you think about that one?
I like it. It's with the Astra, I guess you get a lot more smoke potential as compared to an Omen. I mean, Omen, it's still nice. The fact that you got Paranoia, it's kind of a flash. You got your smokes that I guess some people say maybe it's a little bit bigger than an Astra, but it really comes down to how you play it and your strategy. If you're playing Astra, I think if you have that foresight to be able to control certain spots of the map, it will be really, really useful. I mean, just think about the combos that you can pull off with a Raze especially. Gravity Well plus the paint shells. If you're attacking in towards a spot like stairs on the B site, that could be very effective. You never know. It could just come up with a huge kill. But things like that could be something that Tiamat are looking to put out. But on the other side, I think it's interesting to note because, hold up a minute, Hashira are not playing with their dedicated controller player. I mean, Plucky isn't here. She was playing for the past 2 days, but right now they have, I guess, kind of a sub.
Yeah, maybe, you need to freshen up your mentality a bit coming to this game after getting 0-3 yesterday. Maybe they want to make a swap up. No, honestly, right, like these kind of things can play a lot on your mentality. Like getting 3-0, you can lose a lot of confidence. You might think, we need to make a change. What is this change going to be? So this might be the rationale behind it. Alternatively, she might just not be able to make it today.
True. But I guess Yumi will be the change that we're going to see in this world. And she is currently just playing a little bit safe. We do see a dark cover in towards B lobby just to block off a bit of vision, but they've already pushed past it. Still though, Kachao, ever aggressive, just gonna peek outside of B main, takes down one. Japip's gonna back her up with another. Now finding the second, Minji gets another as well. All that's left is Lisa, who was kind of left alone around A main, and she does pick up an alt orb, so it's, I guess it's okay, but 1v4, I don't see how this girl's gonna stay alive. Yeah, not alive at all.
Yeah, not alive for much longer. And it's just gonna be some quick, clean kills for Hashira. Only losing 1 member here, so it's a pretty strong start for them. Of course, that's just the pistol. But they seem to be hitting their shots for what it's worth.
Really are today, at least. Yesterday was, I guess, again, still really, really weird. I mean, this team, Hashira, they have what it takes. Like, mechanically, these girls are sharp, but I think sometimes it comes down to a bit of mindset. When they play a little bit too loose, they're kind of like this loose cannon, no trigger discipline, just running in and trying to find frags as much as possible. And that can really hurt them in the process. But today, maybe a little bit different. The aggression is slightly more controlled. And right now as well, I mean, they have the buys, but look at what they're doing. They're not just aggressively pushing outside of the map. In fact, they know they have the firepower, so they're going to stay in towards market, find the angels, and actually make the most out of their weaponry. In fact, they're going to deny this paint shells that was almost tossed at them, and the remaining player is going to be lazy think off over by top mid. 12 HP remaining. She does get a think, but it's not going to be enough, and Yumi will be able to clean things up for her team.
Yeah, we saw the spray from Spectre not exactly being the best there, especially when you're aiming for such a small target. But at the end of the day, it pays off. And Hashira, I do believe they're going for upgrades here as well. Yeah, they're buying rifles on the players that drop. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong team. This is gonna be Tiamat with the rifle round. Yeah, not going to be buying on the side of Hashira. Wait, didn't they lose 2 members? They lost 2 members, right? Does that mean that they bought one more set of Spectres?
There is a chance, yeah. I think it's quite likely that
that might have happened. Yeah, because I guess the rationale is we win this, we're going to keep the guns and we're going to upgrade anyway. And if we lose this, we're going to have to go on eco anyway.
Keep your economy basically leveled all throughout the entire team. And that's kind of nice to have that coordination as well. So regardless of the buys, I mean, it's still going to be that second round buy that they're sticking with. So trying to play a little bit safe. Key, in fact, just using her alarm bot, playing off of its contact, gets a quick frag. Still, though, anticipates that there is an opponent on the other side of the wall. It's not safe to go for that weapon just yet. So the rest of the team right now just trying to play off of this information that they've already retrieved. There is a potential for Tiamat to be positioned around mid, and that's why we see them trying to move around a little bit.
Yeah, trying to get some info here towards mid. You'd like to see that. They're just going to go for a long and short push. They want to push both sides in at the same time. And it looks like A is not very well defended right now.
Yeah,
Rotation's coming in, but it's a bit late.
Kind of gave it up. I think they wanted to stop the push in case it came through Garden. There was a chance that it could have gone through Market as well and towards the B side. But regardless of what it is, they've positioned themselves well enough for this retake, and they're going in for this. Japips as well with the Vandal. She is one of the star fraggers of Hashira, so she's just going in for this. Takes Lazy Think down, and now they know the remaining players are all over by main itself. They're rushing them down, and they will be able to get it. This is the bonus round for Hashira, and they have just secured 3 wins in a row.
3 wins in a row, and to add on top of that, they're securing 3 rifles as well without having to pay a single cent. So I think that that's going to be pretty nice for them here in terms of economy as well as in terms of momentum. Look at them budgets. They're pretty happy right now. Even if they lose this round, they can full buy up the next round.
Yo, if you got a budget like that, I'm gonna start, making it rain a little. Go for it. I mean, Minji had 6,000 credits. You could go for an operator buy and just basically, continue to pile, start to snowball on towards Tiamat. But still, playing it a little bit more safe. Then again, Minji doesn't.
Oh, no.
I don't see her using the op that much. In fact, right now, Tiamat with the Sheriffs, they're just going to be a little bit more careful because Sheriffs at long range can still be deadly. So a little bit of early information from the Recon Vault. They know that most of the players are coming in, oh my god, from A main, and Minji doing the same thing that she did 2 days ago. The Shock Dart combo in the air, and it lands square on the ultimate orb. Takes down 1 player, she finds another shot. He's going to get the 3rd one right now, and 2 players are all that remain for Tiamat.
Yeah, and the last 2 players here are pretty spread out far apart. I think they're just trying to camp for some kills, trying to take some rifles off of Hashira. That was nice. That was slick. Oh my god, Lazy Tink gets spotted actually. Silver recon bolt. Oh! Okay, that was a clean one.
Alright.
That was a clean flank.
Not too bad, not too bad. A little bit of damage. But still, it is 4 wins for Hashira right now, and they're going to start building up on this economy. I mean, they might have lost 1 player, but that's only 1 player. And, I mean, right now, 5,000-6,000 credits. This is going to start building up. Next round, they probably got, if every single one stays alive, you're looking at 8,000, 9,000 credits. So very important for Tiamat to take them down in this round.
Yeah, they really need to start getting some wins on the board. Economy is one thing, but losing 4 rounds in a row is not really something you want to be doing on your map pick as well, if I do believe this is Tiamat's map pick. Yeah.
That's right. So right now, let's take a look at Tiamat's approach. I mean, so far it's been a little bit, I want to say, loose. They're trying to find some picks, but they haven't been able to do so. In fact, right now, it's just going in for the Angel up towards Catwalk. They will be able to take one, but at what cost? I mean, look at Lazy Think's health. 30 HP, and it's still a 4v4. You might just count this to be a 3v4 if she doesn't play this carefully. So I don't know if this is how you want to take picks. In fact, if you're going to try to soften up the defense, you might want to bait out a bit of utility, bait some kind of a peek instead of just going for that straight up aim duel. So they got to be a lot more cautious about how they're approaching this. In fact, right now, they've still position themselves towards mid. I mean, they did this the previous round. They're doing it again. It might just become a little bit too predictable pretty soon.
It is definitely predictable. It's good that they're getting mid control, but at the same time, yeah, exactly like that. It's so predictable.
You should run.
And the dome-shaped smokes as well. And there's a little gap that Japips can use to exploit. She's gonna get a couple players still though. They've gone in towards the site, and Liesel, after getting the spike down, will be able to deploy her lockdown to buy herself a little bit of time, but it is a 2v3. And again, this comes down to the duels. I mean, at this point, they have to play it safe, and they need to be careful. If they lose a couple of players, I mean, right now, losing one is enough. It's all up to Liesel and his 1v2, and she's going to hold the angle. Hearing the updraft as well, you can see that she was hesitating. And Japips just goes out, takes her down. 5-0, Omo. 5-0.
5-0 was not a good start to this
one.
one.
Of the police.
For Tiamat. Yeah, definitely. And Japips and Kachao left alive, the two duelists on the side of Hashira to close that one off. I don't really know what Tiamat need to do to readjust here. I feel like what they're doing right is they're getting mid control, and that's really good. But what's going wrong is that they're all funneling into a side through the same entrance, right? You want to get mid control, yeah, but you also want to go for a split push into the side. You don't want to just get mid control and a 5-man run into shot, right? Like, that doesn't quite make sense to me. I feel like they need to split up a little bit more. The mid control is good, but it's what you do with it that counts.
Exactly. I mean, it's nice that they have got mid control. They are able to take a player down from Catwalk and then make their way in. But without the coordination, it's just not going to be enough. And right now, I guess they're trying to make a rush happen through a main, but it just immediately gets shut down. The Cosmic Divide does create a bit of space, but they have to consider that Minji can still just push past this. Orange holding the angle here would be incredibly effective, so that completely shuts any form of aggression down. But right now, they might have to spike down, but they have to continue holding on to this. It's still a 4v5 retake.
Kachao right now with the knives, with the updraft, trying to get some info, but doesn't see anything just yet though. 2 in hell, she doesn't know there's one more.
Kind of do.
She does.
And she's just going ham. Quick 2 knives, looking for the final 2 right now. Moves out, does get shut down by Lazy Thing, who picks up a triple with the spray. Down to the 1v1, but she's only got 20 HP remaining.
Oh, no
but
time.
Enough time though. And just like that, Tiamat getting the first win right now is pretty good, and they did this off the back of Lazy Thing.
Yeah, and they definitely did. I'm quite surprised that they came in, they got all the refrags, but they still didn't have time. Look at this Lazy Thing's spray right here, just holding down left click with the last bullet in the chamber, takes down Japips as well. And you can see Lazy Thing's just like way ahead of the rest of the team, doing a lot of work here for them. The only round win is off the back of Lazy Thing spraying down a 3k as well. So Hashira, they are definitely feeling confident. I think they can know that, okay, you know, we only lost that round because Lazy Thing popped off. If we take it slow once again, we should be okay.
They have to take it slow. I mean, I think one of the reasons why they lost that retake was because they were too aggressive, just rushing into A main like that. Still though, I mean, this round they have to be careful. They might have the economy, but they did buy up an operator. You don't want to lose that weapon too early on. Still, Tiamat, they're taking a step back. I mean, the previous round was a bit of an execute off the Cosmic Divide, but this time around, look
Yep.
at how they're playing. Really slow. Again, looking for the picks. They're trying to go in, maybe with a bit of a jiggle, try to find someone before they really go in and come in onto a site. But the problem with this is, if you don't get the duels, if you don't get the picks that you want, you end up burning so much time. And
Yeah, you do.
at the same time, like you gotta be careful. Right now, it's about 40 seconds remaining, and looking at how Hashira playing, they're not budging at all.
Yeah, Hashira, they're holding down in the sides. Ooh, they see Chidari towards A, but is it too late? Guess not.
Not too
Kachao
late
just
at
gets
all.
overwhelmed, yeah. Okay, they do
Operator
get the
is
plant.
only good for 1 kill because it's bolt action, but right now, Orange continuing on with this momentum. In a prime position as well, just cuts off the rotate, takes 1 player down. And if you're Hashira in this moment, it might be a 2v3, which is not too bad, but you have to be
Lockdown.
very careful.
Oh, they are
boy.
committing on this.
Yeah, I don't like this Omo.
This is a risky one. It's a 2-1-3 like you mentioned, and they're hard committing on this. There is a flank as well. Oh no.
Oh,
I think she gives up. Yeah, she can't do this 1-on-3. No time as well to clear out the site.
well played by Tiamat.
Oh,
He trying to do whatever she can in the last moments, but with her dying breath, she's just gonna call it to her team. Why like this? It's really unfortunate, dude. I mean, you place the lockdown, and then
Yep.
Tiamat's Raze player is like, nah, I'm gonna mess with you.
I'm gonna
pull out my
shut this down.
showstopper, exactly. And then
yeah, I
just
think.
like that, Key was like, I don't know if I can push in the side anymore. I don't want to peek
Yeah,
it because
definitely.
she's just gonna shoot a rocket right my way.
Especially since Yumi got flanked and dropped as well. Orange finding a nice angle to loop around Gardens and come around the back onto Heaven. That was a very nice touch too. Here we go. Aggressive push. Wow!
Oh!
Spike down.
What is
That
this coming
flick
out
from Kachao. This is the combo. This is Kachao and Japibs, the duelists of Hashira. They're going aggressive. They're saying, you know what, we're gonna take things into our own hands here.
These girls are playing with fire. They really love to play so aggressive. Kachao and Japips, we've seen them doing this repeatedly. I mean, maybe not always around B main, but they love to push and go for those gun duels. But right now, the main thing is they got the spike down, and because of this control, they will be able to contest for this one spot that Tiamat needs to go for. And because of the setup that they've got, they are more than likely to come out victorious. Japips taking Liesel down with a bit of a spray. No matter, doesn't need the headshot. It's enough to shoot 3-4 bullets in towards your opponent. So 6-2 was the score, and Hashira, I mean, it's nice to see that, but you gotta be a little bit more careful. I don't know if that's gonna work every single round, you know?
Definitely not. And I think that for Hashira, part of why that was so successful was because it's a change of pace for them. They've been so passive every round. If you look at their holds, they don't even peek mid. They hold in their sides. They hold very safe. They hold very back. So I think that Tiamat just don't expect something like that. But of course, like you mentioned, right, you can't do that every round. Oh,
No.
Kachao finds one more.
You kind of can. You don't need
Yeah.
to push out B main, but just playing around the angles from mid, bottom mid, around the arch itself, you can find frags if you're as sharp as Kachao. If you know that your opponents have a sheriff, I guess she's feeling
boy.
confident. Still though, needs to dash away. Thankfully, does it in time. Burns
Yep.
the paint shell, so that's a good battle.
Yeah, burns the paint shells and some darts from Silva as well. So she eats a lot of utility there, but she will be able to get out alive and trade 1 kill. Look at the mid control coming in from Tiamat though. The full mid just belongs to them.
They might have it, but what can they do with it? I don't see how Meswithia can actually cross this unless she uses her blast pack, and even then, it just gives away information. So they need to be very careful. If they can double peek Kachao, they might just be able to take her down, but it's a little bit slow, and because of that, Kachao only sees 1 player. She's still able to bang them up a little.
30
Still
seconds
stuck in the
left.
corner though, so 30 seconds, and they need to find these duels right now. They have to go in together as a squad, but facing the firing squad from Hashira, it's gonna
Yeah,
be the Tiamat
oh my
players that
goodness.
drop. Wow.
Yeah,
this
just
got
getting
to end.
shot from every direction, and Tiamat, they had to burn utility, they had to lose players for every inch of ground that they took in mid there. I feel like that might not be the best place to contest if you're on an eco round. You might want to just, drop your utility in a side and run in,
Yeah.
try to get the plant. That one was a bit ambitious. I think they didn't have the weapons to take those duels, but here we go. It's going to be a full buy once again from Tiamat.
Need a drop.
Hopefully this time it works out. I mean, it worked out the
Stinger.
little, but afterwards, I mean, that little bit of aggression from Hashira really caught them off guard. So right now they have to be careful about how they
More
approach
aggression.
this again. It's always from different spots. I mean, earlier on it was B main, and then it was mid. Now it's A main, and it's Japips plus Kachao again.
Yeah, it's always that.
Here
It's
comes
always the
out and
duo.
Liesel's holding. She's holding an off angle. She's playing very safe. Kachao doesn't get this in time. She's going to get taken out. Thankfully, Japips is here to back her up, make it a trade, so it's not too
That's
bad.
why
But
you bring a friend.
this is still a 3v. Okay, I say that.
Okay,
He
3v3.
goes in and takes Orange down. Separated from a team, which is a little bit odd for a Jet to do, but still, they have control of the side, and that is good for Tiamat.
Oh, the spray just whiffs from both of them. 2 on 3, but one of them is really low. Mess with ya, sitting on barely any health here.
A little bit scuffed, but this drone gets a bit of information. Spots Yumi, I don't think it got Japips.
Mess with ya. Ah, Japips is aware.
You don't want to walk down that alley with your knife out. Still, though, Cosmic Divide from Tiamat as a last resort just to buy a little bit more time. Unfortunately, they just push
No
past
time,
it
no
because
time.
it's too deep. And Lazy Thing is going to play around. She's playing it safe.
Very nice.
Time has
Yeah.
been bought, and she will be able to take the players down as well. So,
Oh,
nice little bit of reprieve from Tiamat, 7-3. But I mean, the best bet they can go for right now is 7-5, and that would be good going into the next round. I don't really want to see it 8-4.
yeah, definitely not. A4 would be hard to recover from, but I think Tiamat committed so much just for the post plan. They had to use the Astra Divide just to buy a couple of seconds there. Lazy Thing played that well at the end, right? But they committed so much just to secure what I feel was already a 1 round.
True that, but nice little
Nice one.
quick peek from Orange. We'll be able to take a Chow down, so no more controlled aggression, no more operator for the opposing team. In fact, they are trying to play fast and quick off of that one pick. In towards the A side, they will go, and Minji, hearing all those footsteps, doesn't use her shock darts. In fact, I think she's going to try to use a lineup or two just to maybe mess with the Tiamat players a little. But nothing doing just yet. It's going to be a 4v5 retake, and they are just preparing for this split push.
Yeah, and here we go. Retake attempt's gonna come in. They want some info right now. They see at least one outside main, but she has the operator. That's so hard to deal with. Oh, the defensive lockdown. I think that's it. I think that this round's a walk. Oh, they have the Sova arrow.
What? Excuse me?
Just chaos across the map. Sova arrow answers.
Hunter's Fury right back at them. But still, the main forces from Tiamat have bought enough time off of 2 ultimates. Japips, as sharp as she is, will not be able to do anything because time has been bought once more. So 7-4. And Tiamat are making some plays in towards the post-plant scenarios right now.
Round in the half.
Yeah, that was just such a chaotic round, and I think the difference that we're seeing between the first few rounds where Tiamat was just losing everything to them getting these wins is the way they're executing. They get a pick and they just run into sight now, whereas prior to this, they would get a pick, they would, loiter around a little bit, they would try to get more info in mid. This time around, I like the approach that they're taking. They're just running into main and shot, and they're just getting control of the site before rotations come in. So hit the site hard and fast. That's good from Tiamat.
It certainly is looking good, but this is where I think for Hashira, the mind games start to settle in. I mean, we're seeing Kachao and Japips, feeling really confident. They love to play aggressive. They love to try to find some picks, even though they are on defense. But after, several rounds in a row now, I think this is where Tiamat start to feel a little bit more comfortable. I mean, they are able to play a little bit more defaulty, holding angles, expecting Kachao to be holding certain angles, and then they go in for those strafe peaks. If they are able to actually take Kachao down early on, if they find the opening picks, Tiamat that is, then you would more often than not see them win the round. On the other hand,
Exactly.
Hashira, if they actually play a little bit more safe this time, I think they just might be able to turn the tables around on them.
Yeah, Hashira have definitely been going for some very risky pushes here. Sometimes it works, but more often than not, they get punished, right? Even the round where we saw Japips and Kachao trade 1-for-1, I don't think that's what you want to be doing. You don't want to be losing either of these players, right?
It's a bit of a give and take. So sometimes Hashira they roll that dice and they see what they get. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not bad, but sometimes it's worse. So right now, whatever it is, it's gonna be the last round before the swap. They're already at 7-4. Maybe it's not too bad, but I would just like to see them play a little bit more structured, a little bit more safe.
Yeah,
Still
and I
though,
feel like you don't have to take this risk. I would say
right.
you're a pretty decent team, Hashira. Like, you can get the frags, you can secure the angles, and I think when they play defensive is when they excel from what we've seen so far this map.
And that's the thing. It always comes back to a bit of mind games. They need to be able to get a sensing of how Tiamat want to play, and then make the appropriate adjustment. Still, though, this time Tiamat maybe not with the best buys. We do see a bit of a Spectre play coming out from one of the players. So same old story. They're going back for that mid control, which is kind of given up by Hashira. But the main thing is, if they can actually get the information on towards the players coming in from spots like just right there, market, maybe even back towards the defender spawn, if they actually figure out how to push into this in a structured way, Tiamat could come in with a big play, big execute, and soften up the defenses, get the spike down. That would be good, but again...
This is exactly why Hashira needs to hold that safer, right? Like, you look at
Yeah.
Tiamats, they like to run the clock down. They're just stalling. They're just pushing so slowly. By the time the push actually comes in, it's gonna be close to like 20 seconds. They don't have much time to get the plant down.
Yeah, this is not good. All 5 players are
seconds left.
fully aware of this right
Rotations
now. I mean,
coming.
the Boombot pretty much
No
gave it
time
away
for
in 30
fakes.
seconds remaining. They need to push in towards the A side. Minji is well aware of this, tries to go in and get maybe a bit of a peek, but she won't find anything just yet. So this is going to be the full 5v5 retake. The thing I'm wondering about is the lockdowns, exactly the ultimates that Hashira might have at their disposal. I mean, Orange has her knives, which is not bad, but Yumi has from the shadows as well. So lockdown is definitely going to detain a couple of players at least here. It's going to be Mess with Ya that gets the first one. Still though, they push on towards side, and Key unnecessarily
crossfire.
walks in towards a main. Gets taken out just like that. They're trying to make a play past the smokes, and Yumi looking to stick this, will not be able to do so. Why are you turning around? You think that
I love
can
it, though.
actually come up with some kind of matrix
Switching
dodge?
sides.
It's like out of sight, out of mind thing. If I don't see them come and shoot me, I'm just gonna stink this. I don't want to look at the 3 people coming to kill me, But that was a bit clumsy from Hashira. I feel like they flopped around. The lockdown would have, locked down 2 people there, but they went out and peeked before it came into effect, and they lost 2 members unnecessarily, I feel.
That's it. I mean, it's kind of well played by Tiamat at the same time. I mean, this is not the first time that they've done this. They always seemingly, go in for the mid control. They don't find anything. At some point, they just walk up towards catwalk and like, all right, let's go A. And then they just go in. They actually get the spike down, but the post plant is where they are most effective, right? Holding in from A main, it's tough for Hashira to retake that. And allowing Key to just walk in on her own, especially walking into a crossfire, that's just not how you want to play this. So it's going to be the swap right now, and a bit of a trade. We do see Tiamat getting a little bit aggressive as well, and Mess with Ya knows that she can take that though because of the frenzy. It is close quarters after all, but Chidori will be able to swing things back into her team's favor. I mean, a bit of aggression from Hashira, and they know where they're positioned. Mess with Ya getting a little bit greedy, I guess, goes in for another duel, gets taken out. We're back into the 3v3, but I think 2 players from, well, 1 from each side are really low.
Yep, definitely. We basically have a 2v2 since Key as well as the Sova, Chidori are super low right now. they don't actually expect the push to be coming in through B still. I think they kind of are expecting a rotation back to A, and they're just gonna get the numbers advantage on this push the turret though.
Bruh.
Oh no.
You hate dying to the turret, man.
That's the
Oh,
worst way to go. Yeah, but Yumi can't get the plant. She just doesn't know that there's no one left
30
on the
seconds
side.
left.
Wait, no way. Why did they think it's a fake?
I
There's
don't-
no time.
I-
There's no time to rotate back. Okay.
what-
I think they're just psyching themselves out right now on the side of Tiamat. But Kachow's so low here.
Player standing.
Oh no, 1 on 3.
okay. One right
One?
click.
Oh, the reload though. That's gonna hurt
Reload
her.
and repeak. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is.
Don't really want to be doing both at the same time. Definitely.
So we're starting to see just these again. I guess sometimes they get to their own heads. Tiamat did that a little, you know, going in for the rotation back towards A at first, but then we're starting to see the same thing from Hashira. I mean, Kachow getting a little bit aggressive despite being low HP, tried to go in for one of those nice little one taps, right? But she did not get it. At the end of the day, that puts her team in a 3v1 situation, and Yumi with only a classic, despite being able to take down one, they saw the advantage. I mean, Tiamat, and then they just pushed in on the initiative. She was running out of ammo, I guess. That's why she went for the reload, but it's not a situation that she wants to be put in. So very unfortunate, but regardless, it's going to be Tiamat who takes the first round, and off of this they have a copy. They're going to be holding the angles. They're going to be able to take this down, and Paint Shells will be able to flush Minji out of position. So that's 2 players already gone.
Yeah, just holding down that corner right there, Max. Even using the blast packs to get back to safety, not wanting to be caught out in a dangerous position. And honestly, this is looking really good for Tiamat. They're tying this one up. 3 on 5. I find it hard for them to lose them against the eco team. It's just... just a shooting gallery here.
Very nice. I don't know if you caught that, Owen, but the first person who fell, she had her crosshair kind of lined up towards Orange's head, but because of the blast pack,
Yep.
couldn't get
That's
the
the
shot.
synergy right there.
We like
that's
that.
That's playing off each other. Yeah, definitely. We love to see it. And honestly, I think I remember you saying as well, right? When we were in the previous half, you were saying the best case scenario here for Tiamat will be to end at 7-5. They did exactly that. They ended 7-5. They won the pistol. They won the anti-eco. And now they're sitting tied up. This is looking really good for Tiamat. They have the momentum on their sides for sure.
Oh my god. Even though they have the momentum, this is a full buy round from Hashira, but the fact that they're going in for this aggressively because of the Astra's Nebula, they are actually able to do it. It's kind of that one-way smoke from the angle that they were holding. So Hashira had to respect that, but they, I guess, didn't quite really. So they're going to lose one player, and it's going to be back to the 4v5. This really weakens their attacking side. They have to be able to find an opening pick right now, because if not, it's going to be tough for them to make their way onto a site.
Yeah, this
is
hurts
gonna
for
be
sure. And they're on buys as well right now, so they definitely need to be finding something. They need to be taking this round for sure.
Uh-oh.
Oh, they're gonna run into some opposition
Don't
here.
try peek this, please. Please don't try peek this. They're kind of
They're gonna run into a
walking
crossfire
for
here.
a
Oh,
little bit of a misstep,
Down A.
but still, Yumi thankfully makes it a trade. Notice that there is still one player up around Tree though, but drops to mess with Yup. So down to the 2v3, 30 seconds
Oh,
remaining, and the
no.
spike has been dropped. I hear you saying oh no, and honestly that's the same feeling that I got in my heart right now. They're even trying to go in for the wall bank, but they just can't quite find it. Minji though, again trying to find this. Leaves herself exposed in the open. Leslie is just gonna swing on this. Now last player remaining. They know where she is. They
10
gun
seconds.
her down. 10 seconds remaining, and
They're gonna push
Chow's
her
trying
after
to
the
do
timer.
whatever she can. 3 seconds now, and she just repositions herself.
Oh no.
A little bit nice enough,
Good
but she
read
needs
from
to find this
Chidari.
one and stay alive. Going back in for the duel, drops to Liesel. If she stayed alive, she would have had her Vandal for the next round, and her team would have had Sheriff, so 1 hero Vandal still, I think, would be a little bit nicer, but unfortunately she falls. So right now, I guess maybe a bit
This
of a
is
half
rough.
or a force
Yeah.
from Hashira. I mean, okay, Kachao does have the Blade Storm TM, so that's not too bad.
I think if they lose this round, they should still be able to buy up next round. So going for some Spectres, Frenzies, Blade Storm with armor, that's all okay here because, yeah, like it doesn't matter because they'll still be able to buy next round. The main thing right now is they really need to start finding rounds.
They need to really be careful about their approach, but they're just going in for a rush right now, which maybe this Hail Mary will be able to catch Tiamat off guard. Still though, they're just going in for the stick. I think Shidori heard it, but trying to find the player will not be able to do so just yet. Kachao still going in hyper aggressively, just getting taken down. Still, really, with only a frenzy, can't do much in this situation. It's gonna be a death squad from Tiamat that keeps them out. 9-7. This is, I mean, unless they were really just going in for the spike plant, that would be good. But I don't think so because they had the half buy. They were trying to pull off some kind of a play and it didn't really work out. So really weird things coming up from Hashira, and it's really biting them in the back. But maybe at the same time, a bit of a tactical timeout will do them some good. We do have information that Japips is suffering a bit of a packet loss, so kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, going to a bit of a tech pause right now, but it's fine because it gives us time to talk about this game, and I think there's a lot to really unpack here. Hashira dropping the ball for sure, but I think it's also Tiamat kind of finding their footing here, right? Like they didn't really hit any good shots. I would say in the first half of the first half, they weren't hitting the shots, they weren't finding the angles, they weren't finding the trades, but suddenly, like, you know, they find a couple rounds, they get the momentum on their side, and they just look like a different team.
Well, different team or not, they need to be able to, I think, play a bit more consistently because we see a little bit of a back and forth between the two teams, but the one thing that really puts Tiamat out on top is when Hashira start to get just a little bit over aggressive. And if I'm to be honest, this is the same thing that happened to them yesterday against EOS Arise. It's really unfortunate because at the end of the first, okay, this is, I mean, they got 3-0. Let's be honest. It's really unfortunate. It was a best of 5 and then they got 3-0. But on the first map, they played Haven. They actually won the first half 7-5. But sometime in the second half, when they were playing defense, they started getting really aggressive and they started losing rounds. That's when
that's exactly what we saw here today.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Hashira, what are you doing? You gotta be a bit more careful.
Yeah, I think this is a team that just gets in their own heads. They get too aggressive. They go for unnecessary plays, and I think they really just need to calm down. They're not a bad team by any means. You see when they're hitting the shots, Japeeps and Kachao, especially this aggressive duo here, can be so effective. They just need to not take these unnecessary risks.
Still, though, this one is very risky. I don't think they're aware that Orange has an operator. So they're going to go in for the peak, and unfortunately, they get punished. But Japips is here to make it a trade. So nice little bit of vengeance for her fallen teammate, but it's still back to the 4v4. With this pick, though, they have the option to push Split in towards B. Recon bot will be able to spot Japips, so she immediately backs off, senses danger.
30 seconds left.
I think maybe the best bet, just go in from B main. I don't know if you still want to go in from market because a stray bullet can catch you. What did I say? What did I say?
The sprays from Tiamat have been very on point. They've been spraying a lot of smokes, and a lot of it is, you know, good reads. No time for the plant. Key is left alone. Backs against the wall here. Oh, it just gets sprayed now.
Truly backs against the wall. And Tiamat, no mercy, dude. I mean, up against the ropes, they're just gonna, I don't know, bob and weave, rolling thunder, freaking, they're punching you left, right, center, and you're gonna get knocked out if you keep this up. Hashira need to start playing a little bit more like passive defensive-ish, even though they are on attack. I mean, they had the advantage in that round. Lockdown was deployed. They could have just pushed in out of B main if a smoke was placed up around market towards spawn. They could have gone in and gotten the spike down, but like I said, I mean, Japips, I don't know, a little bit too aggressive, tried to go in for market. She just gets shut down.
Yeah, exactly. I think so too. Like, they just make unnecessary plays that they don't have to, and Hashira just get punished once again. Dry peeking it.
Still, it's going to be a trade. I mean, they're trying to rush, and it's nice, but they really need to do it in a controlled manner. They managed to get the spike down, which is, I guess, pretty good. Getting a little bit more with the frags is even better. Kachow's just running and gunning. Actually gets a dink. But the main thing is Orange with the knives can do the same thing. Remember, Bladestorm is pixel perfect accuracy. And going with this, she's going to get that one tap on the Kachow's head. Looking at the key now. Second kill for this girl.
Oh, no.
And Tiamat, 11-7 at this point. Oh.
Yeah, Hashira have not won a round in this half. They have not won a round, I think, for like 6 rounds. It's been a 6-win streak for Tiamat, if I'm doing the math right here.
Yeah.
And that is just beyond brutal. Yeah, let's take a look at Orange right now. Pixel perfect accuracy, like you mentioned, coming in, sees the turret, pops the head on Kachow, knows that there's one more in hell and goes right in for the peak, takes down a low HP key as well. Yeah, look at the scoreboard right now. That's 1, 2, 3, 9 rounds. 9 rounds since Hashira found a win.
Including the rounds that they got at the end of the first half. That is 9 rounds. It's so satisfying to watch how sharp you can be with the Bladestorm. I mean, literally, because it's knives, it's blades. But main thing is Hashira, with the aggression, they managed to get the spike down. So right now they have a bit of a full buy, which is not too bad. A nice bit of jiggle as well, and this is slightly more controlled, right? They get information that Orange still has her operator. So off of that, you get to think, is Orange going to rotate? Do we still want to go back and re-aggress in towards B main? Probably not, but they're biding their time right now. We're going to count down in towards the minute, and at this point, if you don't make a rotation in towards A, if you don't start to go for even stronger mid control in towards market, if you don't spend some utility to either push Orange out of position or try to Ferrari peek her or something, you're just going to be wasting time.
I think it's just they don't know what to do right now. Honestly, if you lose 9 rounds in a row, you haven't won a round on attack, I think you just get lost. Like, what do I do in this situation? It's definitely weighing on the minds of Hashira. Oh, doors in their face as well. The alarm bot, they are just caught out here.
What the?
19 seconds, they're running in.
Is this gonna work? Wait, what, they just
Seems
ran
like
in?
it well.
The smoke?
Just run into the site. Yeah, like what's the point of executes? Just take the site for a hit.
4-hit indeed. Still though, the Hashira tries to catch one of the players, but Kachow just updrafting away. You can't catch me. I'm too smooth. But Chidori will be able to take her down. She's gonna be pulling off some ninja hand signals, plus the showstopper. It's still gonna be Japip's show though. The Japip show is here to stay. 3 kills for this gal, and we're bringing it back. 8-11, 1 round in towards the second half. Not too bad, not too bad.
Yeah, it looks a little bit closer than it is, right? And that's because of the win streak that Hashira managed to piece together at the start of the first half as well. Honestly, if you think about it, they've only won 1 round this half. If this momentum keeps going in the favor of Tiamat, they only need 2 more rounds.
Keep it cool.
2 more rounds.
Yeah.
And they close out the game. And that's what Hashira are most afraid of. Still though, I mean, they don't look that scared. I mean, sometimes they seem a bit unsure, but once they decide to go in for it, they go in for it. And it's kind of, again, a gamble. Either you get those frags that you're looking for or you don't. And if you don't, well, then you basically lose a round. Still, Kachow, ever as aggressive, does have her knives. She's gonna go in towards garden, maybe look for a pick, but the main thing is Orange still has her operator. I guess she bought it back again. And now it's being sounded off. And okay, Kachow with the knives will be able to take her down. That's the operator out of Tiamat's hands. Still though, unaware that Meswithia was hiding in towards Wine, they lose 1 player. Spike in towards mid though, so they still have the option to actually rotate back around. The Cloudburst will force them to think that they were making an A push, but truthfully, they're making a move towards B. So this is very crucial that they actually don't get pinged by that recon bolt.
30 seconds.
But the alarm bot does spot them out. It does its job. Sounds the alarm. Rotations comes in. 20 seconds on the clock. Can they get this again?
Oh my god, but Liesel has her lockdown. If they time this right, Tiamat actually could walk away with a win. And Kachao, unaware that Mess With Ya actually took the long route all the way in towards B main, just loses her knives. We're back into a 3v4. And here comes the paranoia. Yumi able to take one though. Lazy think gonna make it a trade. And right now, he is coming up on a tear. Finds a double, turns into 1v1 for a team, and Japips with the information seizes the initiative to take Liesel out.
Yeah, and last one standing there, Japips trying to do her best. 9-11 scoreline right now. This is, I mean, I don't want to be too hopeful here, but it seems like something's starting to click for Hashira. I don't know how it's clicking, but it's clicking, right? They're going for these late round executes through mid and to B. This is exactly what we criticized Tiamat for in the last half as well, right? We said they push too late. We said they keep getting mid control and funneling in through shot. They're not getting control of the side. But with that said, it feels like Tiamat, they're either psyching themselves out on the holds, or they're just, you know, they're just not in position. One round where Hashira run into opposition, and I feel like they'll just get ran down.
That is very true, but again, it does come back to a little bit of how exactly Tiamat reads the game and what exactly Hashira throws at them to maybe either throw them off or force them to react in a way that they're looking for. Still though, right now, a little bit of smoke in towards B main will give it up, and Mess With Ya with the boombots, with the paint shells, it's going to be tough for them to work through this. They're trying to spray her down and take her out, but she's still able to make it out of tree area alive. Main thing is though, Hashira playing the objective will be able to push in towards A. Getting the spike down is very good, but the lockdown now from Liesel is a bit of a problem. Japips able to take down two, now destroys the lockdown, and we're back into a 3v3. Forces some of the Tiamat players to consider the push in towards Garden, in fact. Cosmic Divide blocking out A main. Oh. You have ultimates, we have ultimates too. Minji now with the 100 tree. Holds on to her final beam and actually connects onto orange. 10-11. And Hashira.
I think she might have shot at Yumi's body as well. That's hilarious right there, but it works out in the end, and that's what matters.
It is. I mean, you ever play, you know, Tekken? There's a character called, I think, Yoshimitsu, and he has a move where he stabs himself with the katana, but it goes through and pokes the opponent behind. It's a weird thing.
That works. That works. That's exactly what Hashira did right there. I used to play a little bit of Tekken. I was really bad at fighting games, but I know the old man and the tiger head guy.
The old man and the tiger head guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Still though, I mean, right now this is the Arrow Girl and the Russian.
The Arrow Girl.
Russian.
Yeah, this is
Asian.
the Bomb Girl.
Then the Bomb Girl, and the
Wind
Airbender.
Girl's coming in through mid right now.
The main thing is, again, this is mid control. I mean, both sides when they're playing defense,
they love the mid control.
They don't really contest from it. Not really. So this allows for Hashira to actually possibly pull off an effective split.
Wait, they give up the entire mid? That's crazy.
Boy.
You should run.
This could be dangerous.
Here we go.
So now Orange is sweating. She's trying
they have to run out. They have to get the side.
And as soon as the timer ticks down, Hashira are going to execute it. In fact, they've already taken down 2 players, but Mess With Ya with the Blast Specs, with the Spectre. Even though she's low on ammo, able to take Kachao down. This is a double kill, and she upgrades towards a full rifle. 3v3. And Hashira have to figure out how to defend this post plant. They're trying to do a little bit of a setup in towards lane, but players coming in from stairs, that's what they got to consider at the same time. Jinori right now trying to scout out as much as possible. Calls that B main is clear, and the showstopper doesn't quite connect. The off angle will be able to do a bit of damage, but the main thing is they have the numbers. They play off of each other's contact, and Hashira bring it back 11-11.
And suddenly it's tied up. Hashira, something's clicking for them, right? These B split pushes utilizing mid control, it seems to be working for them. And the solution just seems really simple, right? Tiamat need to contest this mid control. They can't give it up for free.
That's the thing. At the same time, I mean, if I were to just don't know, maybe pick their brains a little bit. I think the reason why they aren't really going in for that mid contest, they have the option to just peek outside of garden in towards catwalk, in towards mid, or maybe someone positioned up towards
This
market.
is cool from Lazy Thing. Sorry to distract you, but I've never seen that before.
I don't know. It's a little bit of a trampoline, but yeah, maybe
Yes.
Tiamat aren't feeling too confident. I mean, at the same time, that
Yeah,
is why
understandably.
Lazy Think is positioned all the way at the back of A site instead of in towards A main. So at the same time, she stays alive. If there is a bit of noise in towards A main, she will be able to pop off those stars, turn them into nebulas and smokes, and then it slows down Hashira. But timing has to be immaculate.
Oh, exactly. Timing has to be immaculate. And Japibs gets the headshot in. It's inside, actually. Ooh, Orange playing with fire right there.
It's definitely going to burn. They're losing players on the side of Tiamat. 3v4. And without the utility from Astra, I mean, they have to bank on whatever they've got right here. It's not much, though, because the Killjoy, I think some of them were spent in towards B instead. So right now, trying to go in for the giant peaks, they're actually able to take the duels because Shidori is so sharp right now. And knowing that Japiz is all the way at the back, Orange goes in, takes her out. It's all up to Minji in the 1v3. She's able to find the first, but as soon as she pushes in with a continuation, Liesel takes her out with a lethal headshot. 12-11, and Tiamat just earned themselves match point.
Exactly, yeah. And honestly, these teams are so streaky that I expected Hashira to just run with it all the way to match points. But Tiamat managed to put an end to the tempo. And it seems like the moral of the story for Hashira is, if you don't hit B, you're not going to win. They can't hit A, they can't hit anywhere else. And it seems like, yeah, right on cue, Hashira posturing back towards B. They want to tie this one up on B side.
Still, though, B site might work if Tiamat actually leave it uncovered. I mean, right now there's only a Killjoy, and she's not even really on the site itself. If they can just bait out a bit of that utility usage, if Kachao just goes in for a full-on execute rush in, that would work. But again, it's back towards mid control, and they are trying to push in deep in towards market. And this comes
Once
down
again.
to Shidori. I mean, she's done it before. If the recon vault actually gets information on towards Hashira now, that's going to be, I think, it.
That is gonna be it for now. The drone does get spotted out. They know that some pushes are gonna be coming in through mid. Kachao in a very iffy position. Recon doesn't spot her, actually.
Still, though, because the owl drone was shot down, they are aware that there are players on the other side, but she just slips the smoke on towards the other side, and completely undetected, she takes down one player in a prime position to find a couple more. She has to be careful. Uses her cloud burst to just obscure a bit of vision. Tailwinds away. And
got the
because
sight
of
yet
this
again.
positioning, yes, they actually have control over sight. Main thing is, though, can Kachao stay alive long enough to find a couple more? And instead, no. She gets taken out by her Jet counterpart. Minji does find one as well. So, not too bad. We're back into 3v4. Hashira are poised to push this into overtime, but they have to play it safe.
They have to play it safe, but now it's tied up. We'll see whether the retake happens here. This is map point.
Oh my god, the knife from Orange, though. She's going so aggressive,
Oh!
and she just takes Yumi out! They have won this map off of an aggressive play. Tiamat, 13-11.
In the nick of time as well. Orange barely had a few seconds to spare there. Comes in with the knives, the full retake attempt. And Tiamat, they take the round. They take the map. And this is, of course, going to be their map pick. But they had such an amazing comeback as well. Don't forget, Hashira was dominating this map. I thought it was going to be a one-sided one, to be honest with you. But Tiamat, just something clicked, and they came back in the game.
Those little moments, and it's the go signal for Tiamat. I mean, I thought that Hashira had it. I mean, they had the numbers advantage. They had the spike down, but for whatever reason, maybe it's a little bit of ping as well. The fact that they were holding off angles, sometimes there is that little bit of, I guess, maybe Peaker's advantage that Tiamat
Yep.
were able to exploit. They just went in really aggressively, 3 players, and they pushed in together as a team simultaneously. I think that was truly the thing that won them the game. Orange mess with you. I mean, the rest of the team as well. How they take those rounds and taking a look at the scoreboard. I mean, Orange with 5 first bloods, that's pretty impressive, but you have to credit Kachao as well. I mean, she might have been
Yep, for sure.
overly aggressive at times, but 7 first bloods is not an easy feat.
7 first bloods is definitely very impressive, and that's definitely doing your job as the duelist, right? But I think this comes back down to Hashira's attacking side as well. Clearly having some issues, much like Tiamat's, because honestly, both of these teams did very similar openings on offense. They just go up mid, they try to probe for angles towards B, and they see if they get anything. If they get anything, they go. If not, they run the timer, 20 seconds, they run in, and just flip a coin whether it works or not. Honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't getting punished, and I feel like against better teams, that might not work out as well.
Yeah, and this was something that Marquis and I were talking about yesterday as well in the match from Big Scythe against Arakat Aresta. The attacking side is something that you have to be prepared for. I mean, if you're not quite sure how you want to attack sites, either you waste and burn down the timer, or you're just not able to find duels. You lose players in the process of your push, and it's really, really unfortunate. Sometimes it also comes down to the post plant, and I think that's something
exactly.
that Hashira kind of need to work on. I mean, they had the spike down again. I'm just saying this.
They
They
did.
had the spike
Yeah.
down, but the post plant, I guess, on B is a little bit tougher. It's not quite laid out like A, so lineups maybe not quite there. In fact, the off angles just didn't favor them, unfortunately, in that situation. So that's going to be that for Ascent. But our next map is going to be Icebox. Any
Yeah,
thoughts?
we're going to be taking a quick break after this. I mean, I think it's going to be a very intense one. If Ascent was any indication, we're going to get a long map once again with a lot of angles for these duels to happen in. And I think that we're going to see a pretty exciting one. Mid-control, also a pretty big deal here on Icebox. So we'll see how these teams do adapt. With that said, we're going to go into a quick breakfast and we'll be back shortly with map 2.
we'd like to thank Intel for believing in us and supporting women in the gaming community. The new core and graphics architectures of the 11th gen Intel Core processors elevate laptop and desktop gaming performance for all types of gamers, from the overclockable K processor line for desktops to the U processor line with integrated graphics. Intel has a product for the hardcore PC gamer and streamer, as well as the gamer on the go.
And welcome back, folks, to the VCT Game Changers Southeast Asia FSL Open Overtime. And we have these two teams right now in a best of 3 because they're looking for their spot in towards the lower bracket, I guess, finals, where they look to secure a spot for themselves in FSL Elite, which happens next month with a total prize pool of 25,000 USD. I mean, this is what they're fighting for. They don't really get a prize today, not really, but the prize is that spot to stand a chance at that huge prize pool. So we are your casters. Hey, I'm Quack, and this is Omo. Very cool hair. I don't know how he does it. I wish I knew, but
very messy hair for sure.
Nah, man, it's cool. It's that K-pop boy band kind of look that I wish I had. But you know what's cool? It's Icebox. It's Icebox.
Very cool. Icebox is a bit too cold sometimes. I mean, sometimes we see teams falter under the pressure because it's a bit too chilly over there. To me, Icebox is one of the hardest maps to play and play well. So we'll have to see how Hashira as well as Tiamat do on the map. I mean, I think we both had a bit of issues with their executions of an offense, and I think their approach to it might not have been the best. Icebox is definitely one of those maps where, okay, maybe not the A side, right? A side's pretty simplistic. You smoke it out, you pop your util, you run in. But how you approach mid to B especially, and mid control as well as B side pushes in general, I think there are a lot of places where you could go wrong. There's a lot of room for error. And I feel like from what we've seen, honestly, I hope these teams would just stick to A.
Yeah, maybe. That's the thing. Icebox, it's a fun map. There are so many different things that you can play with. I mean, first of all, the zip line is just a really cool thing that you get to hop on and off of. But the main thing is that when you are attacking, there are a lot of different angles to look out for, and when there are so many different possible elevated positions, it really throws off your crosshair placement. So you need to be careful about how you approach things. And if you don't use utility, sometimes, you know, talking about, like you said, mid to B, if you just go push out from under 2, like, yeah, you might be able to smoke off boiler so that people won't be able to find you. But as soon as you push out from under tube, if someone is positioned out watching from kitchen around the snow pile, that's a tough one. I mean,
so many angles.
Exactly. So it's gonna be a toss-up, honestly, for me, because during the break I was trying to find some information that I could. Again, the previous map was Ascent, on which Tiamat took 13 to 11. Very close, very close. But unfortunately for Hashira, it just they lost the last round, even though they had the spike planted. Maybe this time around on Icebox, where it's slightly more open around the B side, maybe A, in fact, if you play around the back, you might be able to have lineups. They might perform better here, but, you know, this is their map pick. They must have a reason for doing that. And on the other side, dude, I don't know. I was trying to find as much as I could, but let me just take a second. I'm going to consult my information, my device of great knowledge right now. And I don't have any stats for Tiamat on Icebox. None at all. So I really don't know how they're going to play here.
Honestly, It probably doesn't bode well that they don't have any stats at all on Icebox. I mean, I'm sure you've played it in, practice matches, you've played it in ranked games, but playing it on an actual competitive stage is a little bit different. You gotta have some experience with your executes, especially for a map like Icebox. I think it's very important that you have a clear game plan and you're rather polished on how you want to execute into sites. Sure, you can always say, okay, you know what, my entry fraggers, my top fraggers, just pop some hits, let's go and get it. But in general, that's not gonna work every round. If you want to have a consistent attacking side, you need to be practiced on these things, and it's hard to say, right? If we don't have any stats on them, it's a toss-up. We don't know what we're gonna get.
I agree. So, in my opinion, this kind of comes back to maybe they're not gonna have setups or executes that look very rehearsed or practiced, but if they go back to basics, playing the fundamental tactical FPS Valorant game, they might just be able to catch Hashira in, tiny mistakes here or there. We never quite know, but
Exactly.
on the other side, I have to say, I probably want to predict that Hashira are going to take this. I mean, there is a reason why they picked this map. In fact, they pick this map pretty often, but there is a chance that they are going to make mistakes. Yesterday they did have this map against EOS Arise in their best of 5, but unfortunately they lost 7-13, and it kind of comes back to how they I mean, maybe they get a bit over aggressive.
Yeah, but to be fair, EOS just seems like they might be a different beast right now. We don't really know what to expect from this team. We haven't seen too much from them. In Elite, we'll get a true gauge of their power level, but so far they've just been rolling through overtime. So I don't know how much of it speaks to the strength and quality of Hashira, and how much of it is just EOS being too good.
True, very true. Just to give a bit of extra context, that game, first half actually went 6-6. That is pretty good for both sides. I mean, EOS able to pull off something like that. I think this was Hashira's map pick, if I'm not wrong. EOS started out on defense, so 6-6 not too bad. But into her second half, after Hashira won the pistol, they just started losing 7 rounds in a row. I mean, that has to be...
It sounds like what we saw here today yet again.
Yeah, dude, it's really
a lot of
weird.
trends.
Very, like, okay, Reirachu, Jenny Lee said this during a pre-show. It's very uncharacteristic. Hashira, these girls are really sharp. I mean, they have what it takes mechanically, but when it comes to execute sometimes, and I think maybe it's a bit of nerves, or maybe it is a bit of that packet loss ping issues, but they get very aggressive, and sometimes it just doesn't bode well for them. On the other side, though, this is going to be the first time we're seeing this from Tiamat, but already their lineup looks, I guess, somewhat similar to what they had before, with the exception of instead of Omen and Raze, it's Viper plus Reyna.
Yeah, and I think Viper for both of these teams, Viper and Sage for both of these teams. Viper especially, I think, is pretty instrumental to this map. Sage also gives you a lot of comfort, being able to just wall off some of these excess waves, especially around mid. Like you mentioned yesterday, the tubes gives you a lot of possible creative angles you can look for here as well. So I think that these two picks are pretty standardized here. I mean, you do see some teams swap it out, but I think that this is a pretty safe standard approach to Icebox. And yeah, I mean, I'm quite interested to see how this one plays out. I don't think Agent Select gave either team a clear advantage here. It seems just pretty normalized.
Yeah, it always is. Agent Select, I mean, you can pick whatever agent you want, but at the end of the day, like, there's no... I don't want to say there's like a very clear standard way. Like, if you pick one agent, then you're definitely going to perform better than the other team. If it's something that you're comfortable with, if you have... and execute a strategy that works, then if it works, it works. But whatever it is, this is Hashira's standard pick. Whenever they play Icebox, it's almost always this composition, and that's why I think they probably are the team that's more comfortable on this map. But again, comes down to strats. So right now they're just going for this aggressive push in towards A already. If Kachao pushes past Mei, she might be able to put herself in a good position, but she's going for the aim duels right now, and this is a bit of a precarious position. I would like if she dashed out, but yes.
The spike's at B. Yumi has the spike over at B. This is a bait. She's just trying to make noise. Yeah, but the weird thing is Yumi showed the bomb because she got in a fight. She got in a gunfight, so Hashira should know that the spike is over here at B.
but they
Or
don't.
the Tiamat should know that the spike is over here. But yeah.
And Lazy
Oh,
Think is the
no.
only one on site so far, so she needs to, I think, stay alive long enough for her teammates to arrive. Unfortunately, Orange was in a bit of an open position. She's gonna fall next, Lazy Think. It's all out to Shidori. Let's see if she can pull up a couple of nice Sasuke kills, but nah, it's gonna be Japivs, and she's going to take her soul. Pistol round over to Hashira.
Pistol round over to Hashira. Is this gonna be the start? Are we gonna see it again? Are they gonna start stringing some rounds together only to crash and burn?
Don't know. They gotta be careful, right? You know, they get very comfortable, very aggressive, very confident, and like there's this weird like need for speed. But at the same time, you get too aggressive, too speedy, you're gonna skid out of control sometimes.
Oh,
but
yeah,
who knows?
Definitely.
This is only second round, right? They got Spectres, so this should be their win. They are going in very aggressively in towards B right now, and off of the toxic screen, I think Tiamat might have bought a little bit of time for the rotates to come in.
Yeah, they've definitely bought a little bit of time, and this is gonna be a full-on 5v5.
Full-on 5v5, but they only got pistols, so allowing for the wall to go up, it's going to be Hashira who gets the spike down, and Tiamat right now just needs to go for these aim duels where hopefully the classics, if they can find the dinks, they will be able to take some long-range duels, get some of the Spectres down, and long range is what they want to do. At the same time though, Spectre, if you can actually pull up a nice burst, you might just be able to get the win, but Kachao still with the frenzy, able to find one to pit Minji. Kachao now as well. Flawless victory.
With the need for speed yet again, just dashing in to push them and get the kills. The Bloodthirst is starting for Hashira. Hopefully they can control it when it matters, but at least now they're on attacker side, right? So if you go crazy, if you take unnecessary pushes, I can still see it a little bit more than if you did it on defense side.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm kind of thinking about.
Yeah.
What's it going to be like for defense? But right now, it's time for Tiamat to come into the game. I mean, now that they have their full buy, again, this is a full-on mirror matchup, so both sides stand equal chance at basically going head-to-head against each other. It comes down to how they use their utilities, but for now, it's going to be Liesel, who gets an early bit of information because of Kachao's Cloud Burst, but again, it's just for Kachao to take that alt orb, and once she builds up towards that knife, you know what she's going to do. Execute coming in towards A now. And they're going to be pushing in.
One member on site, it's only Lazy Think. The rotation's coming in, but is it too late?
I think so. Still, though, if she actually stays hidden long enough, she might be able to take the spike planter. Nah, she doesn't. Just staying hidden, they might not know that she's here, and that could bite her back. Oh, but they spot her! 4v5 now. Mesmithia going to trade it back. She does pull off a bit of a heal to top herself off, but look at all the utility that has been spent. I mean, the Sage Wall, the Toxic Screen. They might be running out of time pretty soon, so they need to make a quick move. Taking down one panel from the wall, Lisa will be able to take the player down. Orange coming back in from the other side.
Wow.
And a lot more players falling away.
Minji
Wall comes up as
walled
well.
off.
Mesmithia will be able to stick the defuse.
Minji just trying to take as many guns off them as she could at the end. That might just also be a bit of a panic play, you know, the need for speed, wanting to redeem yourself a little bit right there. But that does not work out, and they lose all the guns on the side of... I mean, I feel like Minji could have saved one gun on the side of Hashira, but that doesn't pan out. But it's okay, because now they'll go for full buys. And this is going to be an interesting one, because on the side of Tiamat, Chidori doesn't have a gun, I think. Actually, no, her teammates will be able to buy for her, so she's good. But we have a bit of a technical pause right now. What do you think about this one so far?
I mean, it's pretty standard so far, so good. The only thing is, perhaps Tiamat, with the firepower, they were able to take players down.
Yeah.
The wall was instrumental in that, you know, defuse as well. But this comes back to, I think, Hashira's post plant. You know, even on the A site, they might have gotten in. Yeah, it's probably due to, you know, the only player being on site is Lazy Think. But once they have the spike down, you know, you have to think they actually took Lazy Think down first. They had the advantage. But once they stayed on site, once they tried to go in for those duels, It's a little bit confusing to see what happened exactly to break it down in full, but Tiamat basically just went in guns blazing, teammate coordination, and Hashira weren't able to come out victorious. When it came down to it, Minji was all the way at the back of site, trying to pull off some kind of maybe snake bite or poison cloud play, but the wall,
Just really far away.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that, like you mentioned, right, last game as well, to lose the previous map, we saw Hashira also botch the post plot, and I think that that's something they're definitely gonna be needing to take a look at here today, especially if they lose this and they need to go to play wildcards. That's something they'll definitely have to think about. Both of these teams have issues with their approach to offense, right? It's how they get in the sites, how they plant the site. But Hashira as well, I completely agree that they're making mistakes with what they do after they plant the bomb too.
Yeah, that's something they have to think about. I mean, not to discredit any of the players in the server right now. Both sides really, really strong. I mean, there is a reason why Ascent went 13 and 11. That's pretty much as far as you can get, unless you go into overtime. But when it comes down to it, you know, Tiamat did win. So Hashira, they really need to, I guess, maybe use this technical pause to think about how exactly they want to lock things out post-plant, how they want to be a little bit more controlled with their aggressions. Still, though, I mean, during this technical pause, I would like to say we do have other streams for FSL.
Yeah, that's right.
FSL_TH on Twitch. The other team is playing to fight for that spot in towards the, I think, lower bracket finals-ish, the best of 5 later on in the afternoon. It's Big Scythe versus Vitality, and
that's gonna be a good one.
Strong as well.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a good one. Big Scythe coming off some impressive wins in the upper bracket before dropping down here, and of course, I think they played a close series with Aricat as well, which is no easy task.
Way close. They went all 5 maps.
Yep.
Vitality is also another team that I've never really seen before, but they are impressive. Still, though, this is Hashira versus Tiamat, and both sides have full buys right now, and Hashira making the slow but steady approach in towards the A site. Toxic screen comes up, and there is the execute. They immediately flush Tiamat's players off. So Spike probably going to get planted pretty soon.
There we go.
Viper's Pit, in fact, is even better. But can they stay alive? Again, this is the post-plant.
Yeah, this is the post plan, but I think it's made easier by having Viper's Pit on your side. You do see someone running around in that though.
No!
Yumi, no!
Yumi saw her foot!
Yeah, Lazy Thing kind of broke her ankles over there, unfortunately.
There's one aircraft ankle breaker, but still... Oh, it's gonna be Lazy Thing hiding inside of it.
1v1. Oh no, Lazy Thing with the 4K.
Reina versus Reina, and unfortunately that dismiss. It's not the one with the Empress, so she's a little bit slower than she would have wanted, and Lazy Thing just chased her down. So 2-2, and Tiamat right now have basically crumpled Hashira's economy.
Yeah, exactly, and this is such a tough situation to be in for Hashira right now. They committed so much, right? The Viper's Pit, the full buys, now they're broke, like you mentioned. This is just so hard for Hashira because they're getting in the site. They're getting the site pretty cleanly. They're getting the bomb down. It's just what happens next is the issue.
Again, man, it's post-plant. They had the Viper's Pit, but I don't know what happened. They got a little bit antsy on site itself, so they lost the duels. But
yeah, and
right
honestly,
now,
a lot of credit goes to Lazy Tank there too.
Yeah, for sure. But again, look at Kachao. It's an eco, but she has her knives. She's going in for it. She's going to get 1 kill, refreshes. So 4 knives remaining, but the main thing is her team's push is coming in from around B main as well.
She donates the rifle. That's a team player right there.
Man, MVP. But you got to look at the mini-map. Orange is coming from the back. She does take Yumi down. It's back towards a 3v4. And Hashira still need to lock this out post-plant. So, knowing where the players from Tiamat are, they are trying to lock down these angles. But Lazy Thing coming from the other side as well. What? Double spray?
The collab.
Kachao, she has a double spray of her own with the knives. Going in for Lazy Thing right now. Swapping around her flash. The only thing she has left.
Oh, she
right clicks! And she picks up a quadra. The clutch for Hashira.
with 6 HP to spare. The
Here.
clutch for Kachao, drops the guns for her teammates, uses the knives to get kills. Yeah, of course, this starts off with Orange getting an amazing spray down. Kachao right here, look at that. One quick kill onto the head on Chidori. Nice little reset here to get back control of the fight. Swaps to the right click, even has the dash at the end. Unnecessarily, but it looked cool. And Kachao with the clean little clutch.
6 HP Homo. He was, nervous. Unfortunately, the right
She
click were going
was.
through the head, but man, thankfully she got the kill. Still 3-2. Now they have the full bias, but opposite side. I mean, Orange has her knives up as well.
Orange has knives available. I think if you look across the board right now, push attempt is coming in. Tiamats are on eco though.
That's why it's the Blade Storm TM once more. Holding the angle, then she's going to go in for a bit of a peek. I think Hashira saw it, and that's why they might be backing off. At the same time, it's the fact that her teammates have gotten a little bit of control. Yumi, I think, fell early on. So they're going to try to make a quick adjustment, but they need to be careful because Orange is pushing along with them. Goes in and spots 2 players, tried to go in for the head tap, but unfortunately won't be able to connect them. So falling back for a second, I think Hashira recognized that A side is probably the weaker one since Orange pushed out, sorry. So going all the
30
way
seconds
back
left.
in
Orange
from
here,
Raptors,
though.
from
They might not
screens.
expect where Orange is right now.
That's why they got to be careful about. Still, though, if they can get a spike down, that would be
Spike
good
planted.
because they have the firepower. So
Last
Orange
player
gone from the
standing.
roster now. Japips with the 3rd kill in the game. In the round, sorry. It's even better. All that's left is Liesel.
Liesel left alone 1 against 4. It's a bit of a tall order here. I think she'll be happy just taking away some guns from the side of Hashira. That's the one.
Oh,
Okay.
no!
That's anticlimactic, but it works. Key gets the shock dart onto her, and that just closes the round out. Hashira 4-2 right now. Not a bad start.
You heard the dart coming in. At that moment, it's like, you ever watch the Battle of the
Need a drop.
Bastards from Game of Thrones?
I
And
did.
he told Jon Snow's brother to run out in the field and he shot that arrow.
Ah. It was exactly like that, especially since it was a 1v4. Like, she just stood no chance, you know?
Feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Feels bad. Yeah, it is what it is. But now, Tiamat, they have full buys, they have the operator. That's gonna be rough, though. She gets caught out. The heals will come in, though, at least.
I hope. That is
I
another
hope.
feels bad. She's falling back, probably calling for a mess with you. Yeah, there is a heal, but
They're
it's
rotating
only
out,
gonna
they're
bring her up to
rotating
about
out.
60 HP. Still,
They're
yeah,
rotating over to B, though. Look at the map right now.
it's up to the Aldrone. If
Oh, they smell
Chidori
it.
can actually
Yep.
get information, they're gonna know that it's a rotation. from
Liesel
Hashira.
might catch him out here, though.
I don't like this though. Very,
It's
very
a risky play.
Exactly. If she
Yeah.
dies, that means no more toxic screens, no more poison clouds for her. Holding the off angle, though, she's going to take off the first
Spike
player,
down B.
not the second. And
That's
then
the rest
rest.
as well. So
Oh,
it's all
boy.
for nothing here. 40 seconds on the clock. They have a little bit of time to play with 5v3. Kachao popping off screen.
Over by mid, she cuts them off on the rotation, so down to the 2v5. They still commit the Hunter's Fury. Getting one at the very least is not bad now. If Lazy Thing can be as sharp as ever, she will be able to do it for her team, but she needs to find those frags. Gets another, overheals a little, but walks out of the line of sight of the Soul Orb, so still 50 HP at this point. Lear comes out, but she needs to secure this spray. I mean, there's 2 players on the other side of yellow. Goes in for the tap to bait a peek, but unfortunately, 2 players are still too overwhelming. So Yumi will be able to take her down, and it's going to be 5-2 for Hashira.
Yeah, nearly gets the spray down. They do line up, but doesn't get the hit, so she won't be able to take them down in time. 2v1, just more bullets being fired. That's just the nature of it. And yeah, like you mentioned, Hashira 2-5 right now. They are looking pretty good so far in this game. But just a reminder, you know, they looked pretty good in Ascent as well. They have to keep this momentum rolling. They can't make mistakes. They can't get too greedy and throw it all away.
Exactly. So again, I mean, for the past couple rounds now, they've been trying to make a little bit of a microaggression towards A, and then they rotate back. But this time, since Tiamat are basically on an eco, I think the rush in towards B might just work.
The rush towards B is gonna come in right now. No guns as a reminder. Oh yeah, the firing squad is just ready.
Spike planted.
Ready, aim, fire. It's gonna be lazy Faker drops. Orange though, okay, in from mid, she's able to take one player down. Picks up a Vandal, which is not too bad, but still a 2v4 situation, and it doesn't seem likely that Tiamat are gonna walk away with a win. So they might want to consider maybe just, I don't know, will saving the Vandal actually be a good economical decision?
I think you might as well, right? Because it's just like it's unfeasible to go for the retake here. It's unlikely they get the kills and the defuse with so little time to spare, and I think they just need to save the Vandal. Yeah, it's fine. Mess with ya, trying to find some exits, but I think you're a little bit too late there.
Oh.
It's okay, she only had the classic.
Yeah, and because she dies, she still gets the round loss bonus for her team. So, not too bad, but they've been losing rounds how many times in a row now? Tiamat, it's been 4.
A lot. Yeah. Well, to be fair, we did see this on Ascent as well, right? It's a lot of deja vu right now. This is a very similar situation. It's just whether this train keeps rolling here.
And I think they probably don't want to let it keep rolling, because once they swap over onto attack again, it's going to be a little bit tough for them to push in. So this is Hashira's map pick, and they're proving how strong they can be. But wow, Orange trying to dance back and forth, trying to escape vision of the recon drone, but still gets spotted anyway. Has to spend the tailwind. So off of this right now, Hashira sends a bit of information. They're trying to catch Orange out of position, but she's staying hidden well enough. The recon ball does go in, but I think it got shot down. So off of that, Hashira probably feeling a little bit uncomfortable on the A side. Yeah, they are rotating. They've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah, they do this well. This is a good thing about their push icebox. They are not afraid to just, you know what, we've made enough noise here, we're just going to rotate away, and they're generally ahead of the tempo here. Yep, there we go.
There we go. 2 kills so quick. They get the wall up, they get the spike down. Everything is favoring Hashira right now. 2 players remaining from Tiamat, and it's the same couple of players. I just don't see them actually winning this round. Kachao as well in prime position, able to hear those footsteps from Orange. It's a free and easy kill. Chidori though, coming up with a big flick, will be able to take that down with a headshot, but Japips makes it an even trade. So vengeance for her fallen teammate again. It's always Japips and Kachao. I mean, these girls are a duo for sure, but I want to say that the main reason I think why Tiamat have been losing B so far is, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I'm gonna do it. It's Liesel. I mean, the way that she's been playing. Okay, first of all, toxic screens, poison clouds. It's very useful for stalling. She's able to do so much with those utilities, but she's consistently pushing herself into forward positions. Earlier on in the previous round, she was over by yellow, and if she dies, those walls, those utilities go down, and
you can't
no more
stall
stalls.
anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I read this thing once where I completely forgot where I saw it, but this guy was basically saying, Kachao gets a headshot. This guy's basically saying, if you're playing solo smokes on the team, you have to play it differently, because if you drop, your team has no more smokes, you have no more stalls, you have no more attack. It just, you have to change your approach completely, but hold that thought because Hashira inside. Kachao! Just clean movement, good timing.
Clean movement, good timing, good walls by her teammate as well, thankfully. And although Yumi does eat a bit, okay, she's on the road to an ace right now. Nice
there we go, Kachao. Her teammates are all alive. She just took all the kills. That's awesome. I mean, you love to see it. That's a very solid performance here from Kachao.
This is where she's feeling hot. She's feeling good about herself. Going in really aggressive, finding early picks, and then control over the side. Just microaggressions back and forth, in and out of cover. Tiamat don't really expect it. They get taken out, and once she gets on a roll, she's not going to stop anytime soon unless you really make a shift in momentum. So this could do it. They're holding the angles. It's a full Sheriff squad on towards green. And Hashira might not expect this. If they go in for the peak, they get banged up by more of those Sheriff bullets. It could be worse.
Oh, that's 2 already. Just in a blink of an eye, the firing squad, like you mentioned, takes down 2. Now it's a 2 on 4. What would Chidori be able to find here? He knows they're rotating. They're committing everything for this. But the plant is still gonna go down. I think they're going for the 5-man retake here.
Plant is okay. It does give them an advantage because now they get to put themselves towards some maybe safer post-plant positions. But the thing is, they need to be able to basically divide the Tiamat squad. This is 5 women from Tiamat coming in towards them. At the same time, they have picked up the weapons. They have Vandals on their hands. So Key gone. All that's left is Yumi. No way she takes down 2 players who are rushing into her. 2 to 8. And this turns into 3 and 8 because Tiamat have made a thrifty win.
Yeah, that's a big one. Thrifty for Tiamat. I mean, it's not that impactful this late in the half because economy no longer has any bearing. Yeah, there we go. It's the last round before the switch. But it's still nice that they managed to steal away a win with just Sheriffs.
Very, very nice. I mean, that's a perfect adaptation, and this is what Hashira need to be careful of. Yes, they are very aggressive, very sharp, and Kachao can, you know, get 2, 3 aces. It's very possible for her to do that, but at the same time, if they get a little bit too complacent, you know, they had to have known that there's a chance that there's more than one Sheriff over by green, but they went in for peaks again, and now they're just gonna get shut down. It was an operator versus operator, and Kachao lost this duel. Very painful, in fact, losing such a weapon. 5v4 now, and B is basically locked out. Your only option if you want to hit into that side is from under tube, from mid. Still though, oh, now Viper's Pit. I think they don't want to let them retrieve that operator. So
yeah,
in
just
towards
committing everything. It is the last round, right? So it makes sense. They just commit everything here. They don't want to let them have any space to really work with right now.
They do have space on A though, so that's that one little thing that Hashira kind of has going for them. Hunter's Fury looking to deny the spike from being planted. Does kind of flush Japits out of position for a second. But I think it's still going to go down. The Sage Wall does go up. And a counter Hunter's Fury from Key, in fact. Just makes things a little bit tougher. Is that another Viper's Pit? Yes, it is from Hashira.
That's another Viper's Pit. This one for the post-plant. The rotations are coming in. They spring into the Viper's Pit, but they're not finding anything just yet. I say that, but Japips gets taken down.
You gotta get the casting curse. It always happens. As soon as we say something, it's gonna be Tiamat who actually find the frags, despite all this utility, all these ultimates. Again, on A, the post-plant for Hashira, for whatever reason, just isn't as strong as it needs to be. Viper's Pit, Hunter's Fury, it should have been good enough to push Tiamat away, but they spray through the smokes, they somehow find players like Japips, and it quickly falls apart for Hashira. Still though, they have the advantage moving on into the second half. It's 4-8.
4-8 is not a bad one, but now it's whether they can keep the momentum going on the side of Hashira. They just need 4 more rounds from that point to try to tie this one up, to try to bring this to a 3-game series. Honestly, if you look at the frags across the board right now, Hashira, Kachao, and Japips, 20, 13, and then everyone else 6, 6, and 3. They're just so far ahead of their team. Kachao and Japips are just doing so much work here for the side of Hashira.
Still though, they are certainly doing most of the killing. They are duelists after all, and Kachao loves to be greedy just like that, you know.
Yep.
But now they're playing on defense. This is where I get a little bit scared, because if they get too aggressive, they lose players on the defensive side. That just means that your site won't be as well defended. I mean, you don't have any more players to watch it, and Tiamat can just walk in. So going in for that little bit of a jump peak, I think she already ate a bullet earlier on, so she's back to about maybe 70 HP, has the frenzy as well, so I don't know if she wants to keep moving around like this. In fact, just get the information and then dash away. I don't know if you want to hold this. gonna
She
hold
wants
the angle
one
though,
kill.
and there it is. Kill coming
She
in
wants
from
it
Lazy
one
Think.
frag and then dashing away, but like you mentioned, right, this greediness, this over-aggressiveness, Kachao gets punished. Oh no, it's all falling apart.
One enemy remaining.
Orange!
Oh
The
no, it's
double
off
kill
3 HP.
now. And she's pushing up tube as well in towards kitchen though. Yumi should be able to get this. She's only 3 HP. There it is, the headshot.
Why?
Heals herself back up.
Why did she rush in when she's 3 HP? Okay, Yumi.
Still, Yumi still alive. Has to be wary of potential wall banks because ghosts can still penetrate through that little panel. Drops off though, and that alerts Mess with ya, who comes out with the frenzy. Yeah, the 3 HP rushing in. Maybe she was just trying to take her down a little bit, greedy. Well, I don't want to say greedy, but when you have 3 HP, you might as well just try to throw your body at the other player and try to find a kill.
Exactly.
Regardless,
I mean,
this is great for Tiamat.
this is good for Tiamat. They really need the momentum. They really need the economy in their favor, and this is exactly what they get by winning the pistol round. So it's not a bad start here for Tiamat. We'll have to see if they can keep this going.
It's not too bad. In fact, I kind of like. I say kinda because it's light shields, but Liesel bought up a bulldog. If you can hold on to that weapon, or even if you die, your teammates hold on to it into the next round. You have a kind of budget rifle against your opponent's full buy, which is pretty good.
Yep. It's not the worst situation to be in for sure. Yep.
So let's see if Tiamat can actually continue with this.
Yeah, let's take a look how this one plays out. Orange here making a lot of in-way towards A side. I think she gets out though. Kachao so close. No.
Be faster.
Okay.
Yumi falls because of kind of Kachao going in for the peeks, and right now, even with the jump peek, they know that she has a shorty, so they're gonna go in for these long-range duels. And unfortunately for Hashira, it's the duels that don't favor them. Holding off angles over by screens, Orange going in aggressively outside of rafters as well.
Flawless.
It's a flawless victory. That's right for Tiamat. I think this is Hashira just a little bit impatient. If you have a shorty, why not just hold the off angle, stay undetected? As soon as someone pushes into you, you get that point blank range, full bullet spread from the shorty. It's probably an instant kill, but because you keep going in for those little peaks, you give away your position, and that's where Tiamat just know, like, all right, since they're holding a shotgun, since they're at that range, I'll just play at that range. I'll just kind of go in where the shorty won't hit me.
Yeah, what's really crazy is that Orange could dash into 2 people there and win and kill both of them without getting taken down. I think it's a little bit of mistakes from the side of Hashira, but still credits to Tiamat.
Still though, this right now in this round is a little bit of a trade. It's the same thing from Hashira. I think they're either impatient or they're really trying to go in for those information plays. But the thing is, information comes at a cost. Kachao
Yes,
right
it
now has
does.
already lost a little bit of health. That's the thing. So if you stay put, Yumi right now, she sees the poison cloud coming out. She should be calling this to her teammates, and they should know that they might be pushing out from under 2. But unfortunately, maybe the call wasn't made. Minji did not know, and unfortunately, because of that, she falls. It's going to be a 4v5 right now, and Lazy Think as well, holding the off angle. Unfortunately, actually doesn't connect, and Yumi just redeemed herself. 4v4, and she heals herself back up. But still, though, what they don't know is that there is a second player. Lazy Think was only the one. Shidori's coming out from the back.
Coming out from the back right now, and Yumi gets 1 here. It's gonna be a 3-on-3 in the post plant. Oh my god, the falling headshot from Key. What?
So aggressive, close range, loses the duel to Orange. Now Key makes it a trade. Still has to look for the remaining player though, and that's
No time to
Mess with ya.
slow.
Oh boy. Doesn't need to peek, but goes for it
No
anyway.
time.
Does she have time? Yeah, she doesn't. No. Really
The slow
close.
up actually did a lot of work there. Buying some precious seconds for Tiamat, and they're close to tying this one up.
Actually got the kills. Just unfortunate, but that's right. Tiamat has been winning 3 rounds in a row. That was the bonus.
5 rounds in a row if you.
Oh,
5
yeah.
rounds in a row if you count the last half. Yeah.
I always forget to count rounds from the first half. But still,
This is deja
where
vu, no? This is the same thing as
exactly
we're seeing
right.
in the last
Omo?
map. It's really deja vu.
They're
And like you
gonna
mentioned, if this happened in the upper bracket as well, then Hashira, you have some problem solving.
I hate to say it, but I agree. You know, they probably are going to lose this round because they only have pistols. In fact, they're going very aggressively still, despite having pistols. You can go aggressively, but only if you have like a setup, right? But
Yes.
with their teammates not really along with you, it's only the Pips and Kachao. They're going to drop. I mean, look at this. 2 quick kills already. And it is the top fraggers for Hashira. And now off of this initial pick, Tiamat sees that they have the advantage. They're just going to go in.
It's just a 5v5 in mid, and Tiamat just slaughtered them to tie this one up at 8-8.
Look at the top of your screen, oh. 8-8. That's right. Yeah.
8-8. It's tied. Yeah.
This is the same thing that happened. It happened yesterday.
Here we go again.
It happened on the last map. Hashira, what is going on?
Yeah, honestly, Kachao and Japips, they do get very aggressive, and in this case, that's exactly what happened as well, right? They overpeaked towards mid, and I think Kachao, we mentioned she was sitting at 20 frags. I don't think that's moved for a while.
And you gotta keep in mind, this is a best of 3. It's not a best of 5. If they lose this, that's
They're
it for
out.
this tournament. So
Japips.
keep this up, Japips, because that one
yeah, you're gonna need it.
Is good, and yes, you really need it. They win this round, and Tiamat can still buy back. So
yep,
they cannot afford to lose, because if they lose, then they don't get to buy back.
We'll have to see what they can do here, though. It looks like they want to look towards the A side right now. No idea on the side of Hashira just yet. I don't think they have the information. No rotates are coming through, but there we go. Both drones get spotted out, and the rotations are coming in. Do they want to use this time to run back to B? Seems like no. They're going to commit to this one.
They need an execute, though, Tiamat. So Kachao, sensing danger, immediately dashes away. Continues to hold the angle because she's not blinded from that spot. They actually just pick up the alt orb, and now they make the rotation. Okay, this is not bad.
It's a bit late. 30 seconds on the clock.
It might just bait the rotation, but once Hashira senses or smells that something is fishy here, they're gonna rotate back.
Oh, it's very fishy.
At this point, unless they find the frags on the B side, I don't know how they're gonna get the spike down safely.
Near instant. Not near instant, it has to be instant. They have no time.
Oh boy. Still though, this is good. Lazy Thing getting the opening pick. The wall comes
no,
out
the
now.
wall.
And there's a spike getting planted. Pretty good, but they've lost players in the process. 2v4, and Mezwithia needs to get the kills, but no! She drops to Yumi, and this is where I like what Hashira's got. They played a lot more careful this time around, and they rotated on time, on par. They take Tiamat down for this one round.
And honestly, that was just crazy. Like, the rotation came in so late. They planted the spike with 7 seconds to spare, and that's with like a near instant kill on the first player as well. Orange calling for a timeout, completely understandable. They want to reassess what's going on. They don't want to let Hashira build momentum, and they want to just come back after the timeout and just close this one out. Of course, Hashira sitting at 9-8 right now. They have a slight round advantage. I feel like Tiamat, they just need to, well, to be fair, they did lose one member at the start of that one, which makes it a little bit hard.
True. I think that's kind of what we agree on for Tiamat. It's, you know, sometimes they're a little bit slow on the approach, but I think it's really because maybe they're not as confident about going for the aim duels against Hashira, or, you know, maybe they just want to play a little bit more safe. But that's the thing, playing it safe. They really cut it really short and close because
too close. They
made the rotation at about 40-50 seconds. By the time they got into site, you feel that pressure that they're under, and that can really cause you to make some mistakes, right? You get the spike down, but it's not really, the site's not really secure. So I don't know, maybe, you know, going for an execute instead of that slow rotational approach. Again, it comes back to reading the mind games. That slow approach works when Hashira get over aggressive and then they find the opening picks. But when Hashira play really disciplined, really defensive, and they don't give up a single piece of information, then Tiamat are really confused and at a loss. Like, they're like, oh, there's no opening pick. Do we want to hit A? Do we want to hit B? If we hit A, what angles do we have to look out for? And if we hit B, then, you know, all these different considerations, and I think they start to overthink themselves a bit.
Exactly, and I completely understand as well. Like, you're in a high pressure situation, it's easy to make these wrong calls in the heat of the moment, but I think they just need to really calm down here. And we've seen that they can win these rounds, they can execute successfully and find the entry frags. We'll see if they can do it here though. 8-9. Tiamat needs to win one more to tie it up once again. Hashira looking to build momentum to bring this to a game 2.
Oh boy. Now Hashira getting a bit aggressive. They got pinged by the recon bolt, but at the same time, they have fired off a couple of warning shots.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, Orange did get banged up a little, so there is a heal to top her off, but this is information plenty for Hashira. They know that there are players over by A. They see the poison cloud as well, so you can see that on the mini-map, the cone of vision from, that is Minji, who is looking over towards mid. Still though, Kachao just holding the angle this time.
Res
She was
is
expecting a
available.
player pushing it.
Yeah, Res is
That's
available,
right.
but I think they will want to find something first. And there we go, execute to A coming in.
What's good about this is if she can res and the rest of her team can actually push in really aggressively, they will be able to make an
There we
execute,
go.
but
Exactly
it's a bit
like you
slow
said.
right now.
Oh,
Res
no.
comes up, Thunder's Fury instantly replied, and he tags one player. 2 players, in fact. They're down to 70 HP. And those are the 2 entry fraggers for
30
Tiamat.
seconds
So
left.
they're back
Here we go again,
going
no time.
towards
That's so
the
no
same
time.
thing that we just saw.
And what's good about Hashira is that their B defenders do not budge, they do not flinch, they're holding on B side, and they're gonna be able to lock down the side, I think.
There we go. He does
Spike
take
is
the spike
down.
carrier down, and 10 seconds
10
remaining.
seconds left.
They're separated from the spike. The slow orbs are coming in to slow them down. The panel's gone, and even if Lazy thinks wants to get it planted, she's gonna leave herself really exposed here.
This
And
needs to
she
stop
takes her
happening.
down, and all that's left is Liesel. 5 players, all converging on her position. Nothing that Lisa can do. And Hashira just pushes this into 10-8.
Flawless.
Yeah, this needs to stop happening for Hashira. They go for these last second rotates, but for Tiamat rather, but Hashira do not budge. Their B defenders are still always on site. They're not rotating until they know you've committed to the play. And that just makes it so hard for Tiamat here. They get in the side, like you mentioned, right? No time means you panic, means you make a lot of mistakes, and that's exactly what
Yeah.
we're seeing.
This is where you need a bit of that Aos Rise mentality, a little bit of that Eric Resta mentality. If you saw the winner interviews from yesterday's stream, Yoki actually said that, you know, the way that she plays is just no pressure. You know, like, we have different chances to qualify. Yes, you might be fighting for a tournament lives here, but it's okay, because if you're really under that much pressure, you kind of overthink yourself, and it can really affect you mentally in your game. So they have to be a little bit more confident about their approach. This time, just creeping up on towards the B side, it might work. Yumi does get the information, but unfortunately not enough time to go in for the repeat. Minji, though, holding the angle from mid, will be able to take one player down.
Okay.
Still, Spike gets planted, and that is, I think, good enough. If they can hold the perfect post plants now for Tiamat, they might just be able to stop Hashira in their tracks.
Yeah, they do have the post plant set up pretty well. Liesel though, this is a good angle. The wall bang! Oh no, that is just a disaster. That's just so unfortunate.
And nasty. Now coming into this with the numbers advantage though. Minji, she actually evens things up. Lazy think peeking her from around the other side though, actually able to take one more player down. Everything comes up and she re-aggresses,
that was
takes Minji down.
nice.
And Key, trying to stick the defuse, just eats bullets from Mess With Ya. 9-10, and Tiamat just bringing things back.
Oh, honestly, that was just really nicely played here from Tiamat. Look at this. She doesn't know Japips is behind. She just held the spray down and it happened to collect onto Japip's head. It's just the most unfortunate way to go down you can think of. And after that, something that we missed out as well, which was really nice, was a Lazy Thing used her invulnerability to go peek behind the screen. And she found out Minji's exact location, pressuring her to push. So basically taking down 3 people by herself that round. Super impactful in the post plan.
Exactly. It's really, really nice, but I think Minji and Key maybe also got a little bit aggressive. I mean, the Viper spit was up. They wanted to get control and get the defuse going, but Minji pushed in towards, I think it was Lazy Think, and then she dropped, and it's still difficult. Very, very unfortunate that they just lined up, but this time around, it's going to be Tiamat with the same controlled aggression. I mean, look at how they're pushing in. They're not just really aggressively pressing W nonstop. It's walking in towards forward positions and holding angles. They're actually able to take 3 players down, but Yumi does come in with a res. The Kachao with the operator still able to lock down A. They know this, and they're already on the B site, so Spike goes down. We're into the 2v4. With an operator, I think Hashira just gonna save.
Yeah, Hashira just gonna save here, and Tiamat, they're gonna tie this one up once again, and I don't know, this is anyone's game, it's hard to say, right? I think the tactical timeout did wonders for Hashira. They probably identified that, you know what? Let's not wait till 20 seconds to go in and get the plant down. They still make that mistake, but it's fine because they've kind of recovered from it now, and, you know, just go in early. Just go in early. Just execute.
Just go in.
Honestly,
exactly.
right? Because I think on the side of Hashira, they're kind of expecting the baits. Tiamat keeps doing this uncommittal pushes where they just go in to get info, they probe, they push, and then they back off. But Hashira don't budge, so if that's the case, then Tiamat just rush in. Kachao spots one.
So, again, foot. Okay. Again, this comes back to the mind games. This is where Hashira now, if they sense that, okay, maybe Tiamat are starting to go in for the rushes. Again, even though this is mind games, it's cutting it really close because we're at 10-10. Yep. Any round can give a team a really, really strong edge, especially for Tiamat, because if Hashira lose this round, economy will be broken for the next, which essentially puts them already, you know, against match point. So they have to think, like, are Tiamat gonna rush? And if they are, how do they stop it? This holding the angles up towards mid might just be the trick, but again, you want to be careful about it because you're holding utility here, trying to look for players who are in elevated positions.
Oh my goodness,
Lazy Think goes in for this. Double kill already. And she's looking to re-aggress back in towards Boiler. But Orange is calling B out clear. Exactly. Mess with ya, getting the spike planted. We're back into the same 2v4 situation.
Situation. Key's gonna run into one of them.
Oh!
Nice flick.
It's pretty good. They hear the footsteps. Yumi does have the heal though, so it's not too bad. But now Key just going in for a bit of a peek, a quick swing. She actually falls. Jiggle might have been better, but whatever it is, Yumi has been exposed.
Yeah, no time as well. Look at this
very
plant.
Well, dude, what is this wall?
I've never seen this before, but I think it's gonna work.
It actually helps her, yeah, but she's in a very risky spot. Yeah. Tries to go in for it. As soon as she taps it, they just swing.
Yeah, literally between a wall and a hard place right there. Nothing Yumi could really do. And
literally,
Tiamat, yeah, literally. And Tiamat pull ahead to a lead in this one, 11-10.
Dude, 11-10. It might go 11-12. I mean 12-10. Sorry. It's very unfortunate for Hashira because again, the same thing that happened in the last map. They had the advantage at the end of the first half. What is going on? It's so unfortunate, but now they really, really need to be careful with their economy. They lose this round. If they fully bought in, they won't have enough for the next. This is an interesting switch though. Wall to block mid off.
Rushing. They have A. There's no one at A.
Quick read from Tiamat. Yes, they sense that A is clear, but they gotta watch out for Kachao. Updraft in, she's able to take one player down. Lazy Think looking to hold the angle though. She does have Empress ready, so she can just immediately dismiss away.
She does not though.
Cannot immediately back off. Mess with ya, stuck on the other side of the wall. Senses someone coming up from the other route. Perfect tracking, takes her down. Second player as well. Caught in the reload. Yumi makes it a trade. Still though, Key being taken out. It's all up to Kachao in a 1v3. Goes back up from around the base, but doesn't expect Lazy Think to be up around the pipes. This is match point now for Hashira. I mean, for Tiamat, but against Hashira. Damn.
This is just a heartbreaker for Hashira there. Kachao comes in with the first quick frags, but the teammates don't find their parts. And honestly, every single time for Hashira. They look so hot and then they just falter at the finish line. And that's exactly what we're seeing right here yet again. And it's such a tragedy to see. But credits to Tiamat, they're looking so good. Lazy Think is on fire with this Reyna.
I don't know what they're doing. Okay, Yuumi has the wall up, going in for that aggressive mid control. Tiamat could have done the same A rush, but without God Vision, they sense a bit of danger, so they're not doing that. Maybe going in for a bit of pressure exertion in towards mid, back against Hashira, but I'm sweating right now. I don't know how Hashira are going to respond
right
to this.
now. Hashira sweating, Tiamat sweating, everyone is sweating right now. This is gonna be it. This is match point. This is map point, match point, everything point, elimination point, whatever you want to call it.
Spike point, perhaps, because they just got control over the B site. Spike will get planted, and we're in for the full 5v5 360. Unfortunately, a little bit slow with the Hunter's Fury. Doesn't use it to its full effect. Viper's pit up as well. Oh, this is so tough. Minji has no choice, but I guess to walk in. And Lizzo
Oh
is in
my
a
goodness,
prime
Orange.
position to pull off the close plan. Oh my
Orange.
god, triple right now. Quadra!
Are you gonna
Oh,
close
she's
one
in
out with
place
the
for
ace?
the ace, but
Attackers
Lazy
win.
Think steals it away, and whatever it is, Tiamat just knocked Hashira out 13 to 10. Icebox is closed. It's 2-0 in this best of 3.
That did not feel like a 2-0, I'll be honest with you. It felt like we went a full 3 games here. It was so close. Lazy Think closed that one out with 27 frags. And Orange, at the end of the day, getting a nice little 4K. I think she got an ace in this one as well, right? So a lot of shining moments from these players. Kachao as well. Yuumi had some good moments. It's a bit slow from Japibs, but I think we heard that she was having some technical issues as well. So maybe a bit uncharacteristic of performance from Japibs. Honestly, though, both of these teams have moments where they look really good, but both of these teams also have moments where it seems like, hey, this is something which you guys clearly need to fix.
Clearly.
Yeah.
It's very, very unfortunate. I mean, look at their stats. They're not bad players at all.
Yes.
You know, very close to pretty much positive KDs all throughout. The only thing is, you know, I think sometimes it seems, I'm not too sure, but it seems like there's a little bit of communication errors here and there, issues here and there.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes, you know, some players from Tiamat on the attacking side, they are actually able to creep up onto players, able to sneak and get into these positions where they shouldn't, because if you see a poison cloud, you see smokes, you might just be able to call it out for your teammates. But unfortunately for Hashira, that wasn't the case. And at the end of the day, again, it goes back to it. Sometimes they get a little bit over aggressive. I mean, this is not the first time that this has happened. It happened yesterday. I mean, yes, Eos Arise really strong, but it's happened on other games before, even last week's Open 6. So yeah, really gotta, I don't know, maybe a coach, maybe some kind of
honestly, just someone
don't
else.
know.
Like, honestly, third parties can really help teams a lot, right? It might not be like the best coach in the world. You might not have like the best like professional player or something to come help you, but just having a third eye, can like an outside perspective, can really help teams like identify some things which you're not seeing from the inside. So maybe these teams can look into that. I'm not sure how feasible that is for a lot of them. Like, you know, maybe just get a friend to watch your games and be like, hey, what do you think? Right? It's better than nothing sometimes.
Hire Omo as a coach, because Omo coaches for League of Legends.
I'm in gold in Valorant. I'm gonna get fired right now that I said that.
Nah, man. No. Like you said, dude, it's third-party perspective.
Yeah.
Anything is good, but whatever it is, yeah, Hashira, very unfortunate, but they cut it really close. I mean, first map was 13-11, second map Icebox 13-10. They have what it takes. They just need to be, I don't know, a little bit better. Maybe we'll see them again, probably in wildcard, but unfortunately, right now they've been knocked out. And congratulations for
That's
Tiamat,
right,
because
yeah,
they have proven themselves on Icebox, a map where I had zero statistics on for this team. They prove themselves that just playing this fundamental, solid game, even down to the mind games, they read Hashira pretty much perfectly in certain situations, right? I mean, Hashira went for that aggressive push into mid, and they just knew like, okay, A is open, let's rush in. That's plays like that give them the win. So congratulations, they will be moving forward. But the next one, that's gonna be a best of 5. They need to rest up.
Yeah, definitely, and I think they might have a little bit of time before we head into the next best of 5, right? Oh, actually, we have results from the other side of the bracket as well. If you guys
already?
don't want spoilers, yeah, if you guys don't want spoilers, make sure you mute the stream for the next 10 seconds as a Big Scythe 2-0 Vitality Estelle. So we have our grand finals matchup, lower bracket finals rather. I keep saying grand finals because this is really the final prize in the tournament. Big Scythe up against Tiamat in a best of 5 for the last slot to FSL Elite. We're gonna go into a quick break, but when we come back, we have a panel for you guys to talk about that last exciting matchup here.
we'd like to thank Intel for believing in us and supporting women in the gaming community. The new core and graphics architectures of the 11th gen Intel Core processors elevate laptop and desktop gaming performance for all types of gamers, from the overclockable K processor line for desktops to the U processor line with integrated graphics. Intel has a product for the hardcore PC gamer and streamer, as well as the gamer on the go. Hi guys, and welcome back to VCT Game Changers Southeast Asia Series, FSL Circuit, the league that's all about growing the competitive women's gaming scene and seeing how women in esports change the game. It's us, your host, Jenny Richuli, your caster, Marquis Key Casts, and of course, once again, this FSL Overtime is brought to you by our sponsors Intel, supported by our official media partner, Yahoo. Key, how are you feeling about that earlier series between Tiamat and Hashira?
I feel like it was a heartbreaker for Hashira because they were so close in taking both maps. Like, I think it was Omo that mentioned it was a 2-0, but it felt like it went to 3 games because of how close both maps were. And I think that Hashira, it's one of those things where sometimes you think about, what if I just did this in this round? If it won us this round, we could have won the map instead. And I think for the players, it's a heartbreaker because they're going to be thinking about that. They're going to be thinking, what if we just did this? What if we just got one extra round and then we would have won it all? And I think that's going to resonate with all of them. And they do still have another chance through the wild cards. It's over for them for overtime, of course. But for the wild cards, they can still at least try to go for another run to qualify for FSL Elite, because there are still 2 teams that's going to come from the wild cards, because they're definitely one of the top teams in FSL. They made the playoffs the past 2 times. Hashira, of course, they're relatively newer and to the playoff scene, and you can see that they're growing, and they just really need that slight edge to make it over the top.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it came as kind of a shock to a lot of us. Also, as you were saying, they've made the playoffs in the last couple of FSL Opens, and I don't think many of us were expecting them to get beat out by their fellow PH team last night, AOS Arise, and then they dropped down to the lower bracket today. You know, coming into the earlier best of 3 series, we were all wondering, did they have enough time from last night until this morning to really just turn that mentality around? And it looks so promising. That map 1, that map 2, that map 1, 13-11 versus Ascent, really just Tiamat having that comeback. Map 2 as well, when we thought that, oh, Hashira were finally going to be able to push this series to a map number 3, but then it ended 13 and 10 as well. Just kind of have to give the performance over to Tiamat on today, this day itself, but definitely, good luck to Hashira going forward through the FSL wildcard. No team really wants to be in that position where they have to count on that very last chance to make it to Elite with those last 2 spots, but they're definitely a very strong team. I think we're going to take a look again at the format so far for our FSL Overtime, as well as the brackets for today. Yep, there's the brackets on your screen. As you can see, if you were only watching the English stream, take a look at our Thai and Bahasa streams as well, where we were streaming the Big Scythe versus Vitality Estelle match, which ended before Hashira versus Tiamat also was a 2-0. However, it was a faster 2-0, especially that map number 2. Big Scythe were really able to convincingly take Vitality Estelle out of this tournament. So that means that our next best of 5 series for the last remaining spot later this afternoon is going to be between Big Scythe and Tiamat, and this is going to be a pretty interesting series, I think. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, definitely. The 2 teams 2-0 their series prior to this, but I think that between the 2 teams, I'm really I really have a slight favor over Big Scythe because of their performance
Same.
last night, especially against Eric Aresta. They were also so close to qualifying. It was a 3-2 best of 5. I mean, this really shows that they made I guess, the best use out of the format, because best of 5 is what's going to allow the teams to qualify and really make sure that the better team wins, right? The longer the series is, typically, that's why these types of best of 5s are reserved for grand finals, because you typically are able to determine which one's the better team in a fuller series rather than a best of 3, or even worse, a best of 1.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Big Scythe yesterday, it looked pretty much 50-50 between Arcade Arresta as well as Big Scythe. Kind of came down to that very last round over on Breeze, over on map 5, where Krallo on the Jet whipped out her ultimate and didn't quite manage to get that double kill, but it was just so close, would have pushed that to overtime. Really could have gone either way. And based off of their earlier 2-0 versus Letality Estelle, I'd say that these girls are pretty hungry to get that last third spot. So definitely very excited for that. What do we think after seeing the last series between Tiamat and Hashira? How do we feel that Tiamat is going to do in the rest of the competition, going up versus all the other teams that have already made it through? What do we think seeing their last 2 maps?
Well, something about yesterday's games between Big Scythe and Arcade Arresta, both teams had difficulties on the attacking side. In the series between Hashira and Tiamat, it seems like their attacking side is a bit better than their defending side for both teams, because they went pretty much even, or 5-7, very close on attack or defense. It didn't matter where they started for both teams. On the side of Arcade Arresta and Big Scythe, the attacking side was always like an 8-4, a 9-3, or a 10-2, which was very, very extreme in favor of the defending side. So I'm not sure if that's a sign of a weaker defense from these two teams or a stronger attack. We'll have to see whether the difference in the mentality or the styles will actually be a factor in winning this best of 5 in this last qualifier match.
Yeah, for sure. Also, another thing that I'm pretty excited to see happen is that during our regular FSL Opens, most of the teams got used to playing best of 1s, best of 3s. Really, only the grand finals were occasionally that best of 5 series. So for a lot of the teams in this competition, when they play that best of 5, there's usually, by map 4 or map 5, there's usually like 1 or 2 maps where you can tell that the girls haven't practiced as much on, and then it really just comes down to straight up who shoots better, just gameplay, and which team has that better synergy. So guys, we're gonna go for a short break before we come back with our final best of 5 for FSL overtime. We're gonna see which is the third and last team to qualify in through FSL's October Elite. Will it be Tiamat, or is it going to be Big Scythe? We'll find out in just a bit. Don't go anywhere.